Way too many snowflakes in Philly. This might not be a show for you today because we are going to hit on the Monday Massacre in Philadelphia. The Monday Massacre. For the second straight year, the Philadelphia Eagles take a blowtorch to a unit that was getting better. The year previous, they took a blowtorch to the number one defense in pro football. The following year, you took a blowtorch to the number 11th ranked defense. And I know most of you out there believe magically you're going to get better. Yeah, okay. Shit, with the players that you've released or let go, or you can't pay all of them. Okay, that's the new go-to line for Eagle fans. You can't fucking pay them all. Okay. Well, you're not paying anybody really except one or two guys. So let me get this right. Last year you paid Bond. This year you paid Jordan Davis, but you'll let four guys walk, right? All right. How does that make sense? It's about building a football team. The Monday Massacre continues. Holy shit. As soon as we got off the show, the dominoes started falling. So in a matter of one day, the Philadelphia Eagles lost three starting guys. And I know you believe that you're going to replace them. You ain't got a guy on your football team to replace him. And if you think Jahad Campbell's going to replace Jacoby Dean, that's not what Vic Fangio thought. They freaking benched him. Give me a break. Give me a break. Howie Roseman went to free agent store and the credit card hit decline. Balance overdue. How you doing? You lost three starters, and I'm going to ask you this. Hell, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at my defense that you let go here. So you let go of Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Reed Blankenship, Jacoby Dean, Darius Slay, CJ, Isaiah Rodgers, and Oren Burks in the last 2 years. And you think your unit right now is better, right? Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Of course you thinking, well, I'll tell you what. Last year's group wasn't as good as the 2024. And what makes you think, right, I'll tell you what, Sue, you bring a great point up. So if you pay two people, let's say Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, you let four others walk? How are you a better unit? How are you a better unit when you let four walk to sign one? How are you a better unit? You're not. You fill in the gaps with Timu guys. You tried that shit last year and you got blown out of the water. Sills, you are counting on – wait, Sills, we are counting on you to convince Z this is a rebuild. Well, dude, you lost three starters. How many starters – are you averaging three starters on defense the last 3 years? Let's see. Last year, how many starters did you let loose? You let loose a Slay, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, and who else? CJ. This year, it's Jalen Phillips, Nakobe, and who else? Jalen Phillips, Nakobe, and Reed Blankenship. So in the last 2 years, you've let go of 7 starters off that championship defense of 2 years ago. And you've not replaced them. By the way, I was told that Reed Blankenship by you guys, where's that contract? What happened to that contract? They were never giving him one. Why do you keep letting defensive guys walk out the door? Dude, Kyle, that's what I tweeted out right before I came on the air. You gotta look at it this way. I tweeted this out over on my X account, okay? So I said this. So they don't have a problem blowtorching their defensive side of the ball and Vic's side of the ball. But God forbid they go over and touch a hair of anything over on that offensive side who underachieves and underperforms. Get this, you're dismantling the side that wins you games, and you're keeping intact the side that doesn't win you games. Make that make sense. Your offense has by far underachieved. By far. And get this, you don't have guys just to step in there and replace. Who's replacing Jalen Phillips? Don't tell me anybody in free agency. The only way you're going to make your team better is a trade, or you're hoping in the draft. That's it. There's nobody in free agency that can help you now, that they'll be willing to spend money on. There's nobody in free agency. They're not going to spend $34 million on Trey Hendrickson. You know why? They would have given Jalen Phillips the 30. Okay? Sills isn't stupid enough to say pay Phillips. Come on, man. No. Once again, you're missing the point. You have put yourself in a position because Nolan Smith was a failure that you had to go in free agency and tool that position because you bombed at the draft pick. You're in this position because Nolan sucks, not because Jalen Phillips got paid. You're in this position because he has not produced. Okay? Get this. You see this? Right now, dumbass, it's day 2. Where do you fucking think you're getting better, guy, in free agency? What? With who? Who are you getting better with? Help me out here. Reyes, who the fuck is out there that you're going to get better at? Help me out here. There is no day 2 in free agency. There's only a day 1. You're going to get better in the draft? How do you know that? Reyes, where are you getting better? Who makes your football team better that's left? Here, look at this. We'll find out. And then Zander's going to have to make an emergency. Who is left to make your team better? What sign do you think is going to turn this thing around? Watch this, folks. You want to see a guy look even dumber than he is? Who? You'll be making an emergency show signing a C student. Solid? Bringing Gardner Johnson back? So let's take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles offseason so far, heading into March 10th. You've got 6 new offensive coaches, and they're interns. And you let 3 starters go on defense. How do you think it's going so far? Here, let me ask you this. What the fuck was Phillips? He was Garrett, huh? To you, he was. Because he was your best edge rusher. And he was your best edge player. To you, he was. Okay, Gabe. Here's Gabe. Sills is funny as fuck, but damn, you bag on the Eagles like it's your ex-wife. Hey, Gabe. All right, Gabe. Let's ask you, Gabe. How do you think your offseason's gone so far? with the coaching hires and with you losing 3 starters already, soon to be 4 starters. How do you think that's gone? Out of your 22, you're going to lose 4 starters this year, maybe 5. Okay, with A.J. Brown. If you lose A.J. Brown, dude, I'm not sure what else to say. This is so much fun, Sells. Watching the dismantling of a Super Bowl champs is nuts. Agreed. It's nuts. You keep telling me you can't sign everybody. Like, okay, I agree with that. But I think this is a fundamental flaw. I think this is why the Patriots were always better than you. And why they had a longer dynasty than you. When Richard Seymour's deal came up, and by the way, Richard Seymour is 10 times the player Jalen Carter is, 50 times the player Jordan Davis was. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's actually a first ballot Hall of Famer. When his contract came up, do you know what the Patriots did? They moved him to the Raiders because they didn't want to pay him. Because they thought the integrity of the unit was more important than signing one guy or 2 guys or 3 guys. That's why they were better than anybody in history. They never got tied up. They never got tied up in one guy's salary. They never, name me one guy. They even moved Darrelle Revis, who went to the Pro Football Hall of Famer. Pats didn't pay anybody, but they paid everybody. That's why they maintained that dynasty. They never, when Richard Seymour's contract came up, like Jalen Carter's, the Patriots would have moved Jalen Carter. They wouldn't have paid him $35 million. There's no fucking way. That's how they built that dynasty. They didn't build it through 4 players. They built it through integrity of their salary cap. Seals, do you think Howie believes our backups are sufficient to fill the holes on defense? Hey, Riot, I sure hope not, because last year those guys proved to not be. Hey, dude, you can have Tom Brady on your team. You're right. When you have an elite quarterback, your elite quarterback covers when you have to move players. Hurts ain't elite. See this here? Who gives a shit about the Pats do? This is the same thing the Chiefs are doing. They're moving off of guys, folks. They're showing you how to keep consistent and keep building for winning by not staying on big-time players and big money players like Trent McDuffie, Snead, any of these other guys. You can sign your guys. You've lost 7 fucking starters in 2 years, and you signed 2. Yeah, that sounds right. That doesn't even sound right by the numbers. You signed 2 guys, Zach Bond and Jordan Davis, and you lost 7 starters since the Super Bowl year. 7. 7. 7. 2 guys you signed. And you keep saying you can't sign everybody. You're damn right you can't. Not when you're paying somebody $26 million for a 2-down guy. 7. Let me count them out. Milton, Sweat, Reed, Dean, Slay, CJ, Isaiah, Jalen Phillips. Excuse me, that's 8. 8 guys out of 11 starters. Since the Super Bowl, you've cut off that defense. And you know how many guys you've moved off of in offense? Jahan Dotson and Mekhi Becton. That's it. The Pats moved on from Richard Seymour because he wasn't old. He went out there. What a fucking lie. I'll show you how much of a lie that is because he was too old. Richard Seymour was old when he went to the Raiders. Are you really, you mean that, right? I'm sure you do. When he went to the Raiders, he was 29 years old, and he put 3 more Pro Bowls together. He had 3 more Pro Bowls. It was actually 30 when he went. He was old, and he went to 3 more Pro Bowls after that. Let's see when they moved off of Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis. I'm not Revis, the other guy. Stephon Gilmore, excuse me. Stephon Gilmore. He was 28 when they moved off him, and he was the Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, then get this. Well, then why are you moving off of 25-year-old D tackles like Milton Williams and 27-year-old Josh Sweats and 26-year-old Jalen Phillips? Those guys ain't old. Why are you moving off of them? Those guys aren't old. Actually, they're not even in their prime yet. When you moved Milton Williams, he was 24 years old. Got you. Okay. All right, Prince. Can't pay everybody? You're paying a few dudes. You're only paying a couple guys, and you're losing 7 to 8 starters. You've lost 8 starters in 2 years. You think that's normal? Really? Hey, Prince. Hey, Prince, get this. Where's Prince? Hey, Prince, on top of that, you signed an intern group of coaches. Where you going, man? How come this feels like a rebuild? This guy misses it completely. It's not about elite players. It's about an elite unit. The Rams were never an elite unit. They had an elite player in Aaron Donald. The 2024 Eagle defense was an elite group. They didn't have any real elite players on that team. It was a great unit. The number 1 defense in pro football. It's not about 2 or 3 players. It's about the unit. I'm with Sills. They don't have a clear vision in what they're trying to do. They lost Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Darius Slay, Gardner Johnson from the Super Bowl team. And do you know how far they fell in opponent points per game the following season? I know this. You got beat by the Niners. What are you talking about? Dude, you got ran over by the Bears. You got beat by a JV Niner team. The Chargers beat you with a guy with a broken hand. Pats just signed Romeo Doubs. Yeah, well, that's not going to help that passing game. Hey, Sills, what if they are using Davis as an example to Carter? See, we paid your boy when he showed up. That's what we'll do for you. I agree there's some of that. I do. I agree there's some of that. Yeah, right. So you think Romeo Doubs being signed, that means he's not going to New England. Holy criminy. They need more than Romeo Doubs. Okay? To help that passing game. Romeo Doubs is okay. Yeah. If that's their number one, that's going to be their number two. Not their number one. Their number one is A.J. Brown. Dude, Doubs doesn't move the needle, correct. He's not a needle mover. $70 million for Doubs. Okay, well, let's actually, not true. $70 million for Doubs. $70 million. I'll tell you what he got right now. $70 million for Doubs. What's the guarantee? He got $30 million over 3 years. This guy's going to make roughly $10 million a year to be a wide receiver. Highly unlikely that's your number one. $70 million. That's with incentives. The real money's the bonus money or the guarantees. That other shit is agent driven. This guy may make $13 million as a receiver in New England. $70 million, really. Try reading a contract. Sills, I hate to break the news to you, but AJ, yeah, okay. I don't believe that. You may be right, Joe. We'll find out. Because I'll tell you what, Howie Roseman's not going to get better in free agency this year. That's done with, over with. He's either get better in a trade or he better land on another Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeZean in the draft. Because other than that, you got nowhere else to go. There's nobody out there that's a needle mover. Dude, in theory, think about this. The only needle mover and the only needle moving deal that has been done so far has been the Raiders and the Ravens. And the Ravens got, for today, they got Crosby. And the Raiders got 2 ones. That's been the only needle-moving deal. The rest of these deals have been, and I agree with many of you, Jalen Phillips is a really good player who got exceptional money. This guy's never been to a fucking Pro Bowl. But, again, that shows you the problem that you have with Nolan Smith. Oh, you got to deter. By the way, because you moved off of Jalen Phillips, come May 1st, you got to pay $15 million to Nolan Smith for a guy who's a backup. So I'm starting to think you're a big-time Birds hater. Say something positive. So far about your offseason, let me think about it. Vic Fangio came back. Vic came back. Vic Fangio came back. Is that good? Because how about this? You name me one. Michael Carter restructured? You signed Davis. I think it's a good sign, but you, again, here's the deal. You signed Davis. He played 80 snaps on third down last year. So let me ask you this, my friend. Flash, are you going to so 7 out of every 10 plays, you're taking Jordan Davis off the field? Is that right? That's what you're doing? 7 out of every 10 plays, you're taking him off the field? Played 80 snaps on third down. He's a 2-down guy. We agree, Sills, on this guy, Nolan Smith Jr. Has got to have a Jordan Davis year. Otherwise, enough with this guy. Listen, you got to pick his 15 up. You don't have any options out there. Dude, duel. The coaching hires, in my opinion, offensively, they're interns. So I'm not going to talk positive. I don't know what I would say positive. What? Hey, congratulations. You've got a great opportunity for what? To show you can coach? Okay. To show you can coach? I guess so. Here, is that nice for you? That's as nice as I could be about coaches that I have no idea with no history. So what are we really complaining about here? The same exact thing happened last year, and the Birds' regression was so bad that they went from being one of the NFL's best defenses to really good again. Now you're going to go from being really good again to being what? Mediocre? You regressed. And you're losing. You lost 3 starters today. Massacre Monday. Seals AJ staying in Philly after Dobbs just signed. It's not an $80 million a year deal. Or it's not $80 million. It's not $80 million. He got 30 on a sign over 4. Over 3. It's more like 13, something in there. Romeo Dobbs, you regress from Stephon Diggs. When has Romeo Dobbs ever been a guy? Like, when has he ever been a dude? Romeo Dobbs. Good God. This guy's never had 1,000 yards in his entire career, and the most catches he ever had is 55. Give me a fucking break. 55 for 700 yards, 46 for 601, 54 for 674, and 42 for 425. That's Jahan Dotson numbers. Number 1. Has Howie become overconfident with the draft and his latest successes? Like I said a year ago, I don't really think he had any impact on the football team from the draft. I think Makuba was good early, got hurt. I think Jihad was coming along. I thought he was. Then they benched him. Those 2 guys were the only dudes that gave you any kind of help. To be fair, Green Bay spreads the rock around. Still isn't a 1. Yeah, because their quarterback spreads it around. Let me tell you, stop drinking the green juice without a legit defense to support a bad offense. Next year is going to be a shock to us all. Maybe 500 times at best. Seals, my 14-year-old son, run through the Eagles defense right now. Okay? Let's take a look at this. That's a good call there. Let's take a look at Eagle defense right now. Let's take a look at that. Eagles defense. All right. Here's your defense. As right now, currently, with the depth chart that's in the locker room, You want to see that? How did you know that that was sent over to me, my friend? Very nice. Mauro Jomo, left end. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter inside. Aziza Ojalara at will. Zach Bond, Jihad Campbell, linebackers. Nolan Smith is your Sam linebacker. Strong side linebacker. Your corner is Adoree Jackson. Your safety is Michael Carter II. Your free is Andrew Makuba. And then Q and DeJean. That's championship defense on the perimeter there. You got it, baby. Aziza Ojalara and Nolan Smith are your edges as of today, with Jalix Hunt behind a Nolan Smith. Aziza Ojalara. Seals, with the Saints signing NTN yesterday, is Alvin Kamara going to be cut? I saw they were trying to trade his ass. Aziza Ojalara. This just gets fucking better by the day. Seals, I'm worried Birds fans are not ready or used to a 5-win team. Buckle your chin scratch, Philly. Sounds like Howie's going to sign 4 or 5 Temu short-term deals and head into a full rebuild after next season. You know what I don't get? His precious offense. Can't touch that. Okay? Still's honest question, do you think Nolan having his first healthy season will maybe give us the guy we saw glimpses of in 24? You're hoping. Everyone's hoping. Honestly, I like the kid. I think the energy's great. I think he's a leader. I want him to succeed. Of all the guys that are there, I want him to succeed. I like him. Philly to Chicago. I'm feeling great. Everything playing out how I thought it would so far. Still, Schefter shared an update contract. It's 4 years, 40. It's 40. What's the guarantees, David? That's the only thing you need to know. What's the guarantees? I don't want to hear that last number, 80. 80's the phony money. Still, this is a rebuild. AJ's getting traded. Rumors about internal frustration with Hurts getting ready. By the way, that relationship's over with. The Jalen Hurts AJ Brown relationship, it's over. Especially after AJ and his agent, or his agent most notably, threw Jalen Hurts under the bus, saying he wants a quarterback that's going to throw on time. And they want a quarterback that's better than Jalen Hurts. And I'm paraphrasing that, but go back and listen to that Schefter thing. I think it was Albert Breer. Go back and listen. The wide receiver quarterback relationship, it's over. D.E. Hendrickson is in talks with several teams, but is unwilling to come off his asking price of 30 to 40. I heard he wanted 32, between 32 and 35, and that's what the Bucks, the Jaguars, and the Bills are teams that are negotiating with this guy right now. He's from Orlando, Florida. I kind of know the guy and his agent. And he wants, to me, I think he wants to play in Florida. Like Dolphins, Jaguars, the Buccaneers, Carolina signed their guys. So, I don't know. Yes, Apaka. Same high. If I'm not mistaken, I thought he went to the same high school as Warren Sapp. Okay? The worst part is that he didn't say a quarterback that passes on time. They said flat out he wants a quarterback. Yeah, how do you fix that? You don't fix that. I want a quarterback. A.J. Brown's agent said, my client wants a quarterback. Seals, you called it last year. This year is a rebuild year. What was the guarantees? Max value 80. I don't care about that. 4 years, 68 with 12 more available. I want to know what the guarantee is in that contract. The guarantee is what you'll know what the deal is. AJ can get a max deal with New England. Well, Hurts said he had a coach who didn't do anything, and they remedied that. Hurts can read defenses. He can't see to throw the ball. AJ needs to go to another team. I don't blame him for calling out Hurts. Love AJ, outstanding player. Cake? Fake friend? Who's a fake friend? Not, what are you talking? Those two fake friends? Yeah, they're fake friends. Bosa, dude, Joey Bosa? Yeah, no. Nick Bosa? Okay, maybe. Sills, the Eagles played the Panthers in Philly. Watch Lane and Jordan destroy them boys. Yeah, I don't know, man. Your offense didn't destroy anybody last year. Even with the losses, we still have a top 5 roster. How did that top 5 roster get beat up in the playoff game by the Niners? How did that top 5 roster get blown off the ball by the Bears? By the way, the Bears game had nothing to do with coaching. The Bears game was lining it up and beating you old style 2024 Philadelphia way. Lining up and running it down your fucking throats. That had nothing to do with coaching. That was, you got beat up. The Bears beat you up. The 49ers, right, beat you with practice squad guys. Seals, I got to believe Chubb or a Greenlard has to be an option for Howie. I don't understand what's the holdup. Money. Options for players. Players have options now. We lost more last year and still won 11 games. If you're counting wins in the win-loss column and you're not looking at how you're getting beat in certain games, and if that's your metric, you need to watch more college football because there's a lot of good football teams that don't have great records, and there's a lot of shitty teams that have great records. And when they have to play good teams, they get worked like you did. By the way, how would you like to have that deal back now? If you had to do that all over again, Josh Sweat's a better player than Jalen Phillips. He's a better football player. Wouldn't you rather have had that deal, giving him the 19? You could have signed him to a 3-year deal. Howie Roseman missed this deal too. Okay? Okay, so Prince said something because he's going to moan and cry. And by the way, he's not wrong. So you sent a super chat. Where is it? I don't see a super chat by you. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You didn't send no super chat with... Dude, I read the super chats because I appreciate everybody. If the Eagles can get Dillon and Thielman and Malachi Lawrence in the draft, that's 2 big positions covered. How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? Okay. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Okay, let me go here. Pats just signed Romeo Dobbs. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Let's go down here. Go another one. What? No, I don't want anybody who sends a super chat to say that we didn't read them. Here is Kyle. With the Saints signing Etienne yesterday, is Alvin Kamara going to be cut? Also, what are the chances we go after Chubb? Pretty good. I don't think you have to go after Chubb. Let's see here. Let's go. Got another one. Ramir. We lost more last year and still won 11. Correct? And thank you. All right. Hey, Sills, Howie built 3 different Super Bowl teams. I think Howie's proven for you to talk shit like always. Okay. Have at it. Howie went like this, too. This one lasted a little longer. Bro, you've lost 8 starters in 2 years. Do you think that defense is going to be better than last year? How many people think this coming 26 defense will be better than last year's? It will nowhere near be. Okay? It'll be nowhere near what you were in 24. Why? I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, Flexen. Whatever, guy. You think this defense will be as good as last year's? Pietas, with the cost of free agent Eagles going ballistic, the Eagles will have to move up to get a good prospect. Basically, they'll go early and often. Correct. There's 12 or 13 guys in this draft. There's like 12 or 13 guys. Michael, one finished 17. Let's see here. Sills, it's like when you're mad and texting, it's all spelled wrong, except he be mad and can't read because we're so mad. I'm not mad at Dick, dude. Mad at what? The Eagles making shitty moves? Why would I be mad? Mad? Mad at what? We lost players after 24, and the defense felt like it held its ground. Okay? And now that you've lost 3 more starters, what? You think you're going to be better? With a shitty offense? Or what? Wait a minute. You're assuming the offense is going to play well, right? I could care less about the defense. They need to fix the shitty offense. Play for how much they're getting paid. $244 million on that side of the ball. This guy's turning out to be a pretty damn... By the way, I like what the Cowboys are doing. Now the Cowboys have further to go. And they still got a lot more work to do. And, you know, you've got to go out there in September and do it. But I like what you're doing. Cleared space up. You're trying to acquire players. You've been very active. That's not always a good sign. You know, when you're active like that, means you got a lot of holes to fill. And the Cowboys have a ton of holes to fill. And, you know, I actually think the Cowboys so far have done some pretty good things. Especially the most important thing was redoing the deals. I got this list from Michael Irving. Type this in here. So far they've Okay, they restructured contracts on Dak, CD, and Tyler Smith. They ended up making a trade for Rashawn Gary from the Packers and only had to give up a fourth rounder for him. And that guy is better than Jalen Phillips. They agreed to terms on safety Jalen Thompson, re-signed Sam Williams. I like that on a one-term deal and a one-year deal. They got a tender offer for kicker Brandon Aubrey. They did lose out on Nakobe. Nakobe was going back and forth between the Cowboys and the Raiders. So he ended up going with the Raiders because he didn't want to sign with the Cowboys. Seals, do you think with all of our draft picks in the upcoming draft is preventing Howie from signing free agents? A little bit of that. There's a little bit of that, yeah. Actually, too, remember something. When you go and you're going to draft as many draft picks as they have, you're going cheaper. And that's what the Eagles are doing. They're going cheaper right now. Seals, like last year, the defense will start out slow as players work into form. Wait a second, Bob. That's not what happened. The players never worked into form until they got Jalen Phillips. Their cornerback, too, was a train wreck for the entire first half of the season. They couldn't set the edges for the entire first part, and it was starting to wear the defense down. The only time that it got better was when they added Phillips. That was the only move that Howie made last year that helped that defense at all. Seals, if the money is the problem for Howie getting an edge, your take on Rager draft was point on. That lousy pick haunts him now. That's right. When you miss, listen here. Look at what the Nolan Smith pick has done for you. Are you not getting it? Many people who are in my business think that if you miss on Nolan Smith, you're just missing on Nolan Smith. What year was Nolan? And I'll give you the layout. What year was Nolan Smith drafted? Anybody? I mean, what year was he taken? Was it 22? Was Nolan Smith taken in the 2022 or 21 draft? I think he was in the 22 draft. So 2022, right? 2022. 22, 23, 24, 25. And here we are 5 years going into his fifth year. Okay? 23, is it? 23? Okay. I thought it was 4. Okay, 4. Thanks. Okay, 4. Okay? 23, 24, 25, 26. Fourth year. He's going into his fourth. Okay. 2023. Hassan Reddick was on the team. In 22. What did you guys do? You signed Bryce Huff for $17.5 million. Okay? Right? Signed him for 17.5. 2024, Smith was still a backup on that team behind Josh Sweat and them dudes, right? Okay. 2025, they had him as a starter. Uh-oh. They realized 24 in those little games that he played, this guy couldn't play a full 17 games. We said he's not a 17-game player. What'd they do? They put a third rounder and went and got Jalen Phillips. So you not only spent 17.5 on Huff, but you lost a third-round pick because of Nolan Smith. Now you lose Jalen Phillips. Now you have to go back into the draft for an edge rusher. So in theory, you lost a 3, potentially a 1, and money because Smith didn't pan out. That's what happens when a rookie deal doesn't play out and pan out. Money, draft picks, and then the eventual will be cutting them. and cutting him. Think about that. Get this. You ain't getting shit for Nolan Smith's failures. He's the 30th pick in the draft. He's not a third rounder. Sills, with you talking about the Eagles every day, knowing all the ins and outs, I'm not sure how. I'm not an Eagle fan. Who was the last defensive end that we hit in the draft? Then Graham. Took a few years to get going as well. Josh Sweat. Here, I'll say this to you. Watch this. It's a great take, too. Let's go here. Eagles year to year. Let's see how far back we go on edge rusher. Let's go back to Brandon Graham. When was Brandon Graham taken? What year was Brandon Graham? 2010. Let's see how many edge rushers you've drafted since 2010. Defensive ends, let's see. Okay, Brandon Graham went number 1. Okay. Well, actually, that year you drafted 2. I don't even know who this guy is. Ricky Sapp. Okay, then in 2011, nobody. 2012, Vinny Curry. He started 1 game. Joe Kruger started no games. Taylor Hart started no games. Derek Barnett had 3 starts. Is that right? Sound right? In his time? Derek Barnett. So there's Derek Barnett. I think he was okay. Not great. There's Josh Sweat in 18. Josh Sweat. So Josh Sweat had what? Played in 121 games. Derek Barnett played in 112 games. That's not bad. That's not bad. But he never really panned out to be the guy. So Josh Sweat, since Brandon Graham. Who else? Teron Jackson. Who's that? Kyron Johnson. Jalen Hunt's got 33 starts. I still think you've really drafted only 1 guy since Brandon Graham. And that's kind of Derek Barnett and Jalen Hunt. That's 2010. So you're going to go into the draft, and the rest of these guys have all been free agents. Seals used to be a huge Nakobe Dean hater. Listen, I told you he would never get another contract here. And I was right. I wasn't wrong, Sig. I said Nakobe Dean would never get another contract. I wasn't wrong. How am I wrong? He's not here. I wasn't wrong on Dean. Dean was better of a player, and he came on and became a better player than I thought. Okay? No, I said he'd never get a contract here. I said he would never get another contract. Oh, it's right for the wrong reasons. Okay. Yeah. You guys are the ones that have all these love feelings for people. I don't. Because the NFL doesn't have love for any of these guys. It's a tough-ass business. You want to feel and have reach-arounds for some of these guys? That's on you. For me, I know how those people deal with people. All right, dude. Hey, Tricks. Is Howie picking that 50-year option up? in May 1? How many days is that until May 1? By the way, how many days does he have to decide before May 1? How many days until May 1? You have 52 days to decide what you're going to do. You have 52 days to decide what you're going to do with Nolan Smith in a 5th-year option at $15 million. Seems to me Campbell will be on the edge. That's not where Vic wants to play his ass. He's out of position. I want him in the middle. Okay? I mean, by the way, I don't think he looks comfortable out there. Seals, any of you insiders giving anything today? You know what? I've been waiting to get something from a couple folks, but it looks like it slowed down a little bit today. Well, as expected, because all the good dudes have been taken and swapped and picked up. So the Raiders have traded Geno Smith and a 2026 7th-round pick to the Jets in exchange for the 6th-round pick in 2026. This is Adam Schefter sending Geno back. Okay, I guess so. So they're kind of like B moves today. This is a GM trusting process. Yeah, well, it failed last year. Cam Jordan chasing a ring should come at a discount. Why? He's looking for his last bag of money. Why? Well, shit, if I'm going to chase a bag of money, if I'm going to chase a ring, I'm going to Seattle. I'm going to the Rams. Why do I want to come and be a backup in Philadelphia? Cam Jordan's the first. The guy had 9 sacks last year. He could still play. He's going to go to a place where he can play. Seals, what happens on May 1st will be determined by how high they draft an edge in April. If they draft an edge in rounds 1 and 2, and an edge at 3 and 7, Nolan gets the option. I'm going to make a prediction to you right now, Bob. I think they trade Nolan Smith on draft night. You bet. And you're wrong again. Nolan Smith is going into his 4th year. Okay, congratulations to you. I told you that guy is not a 17-game player, too. That turns out to be right. And by the way, if you're making all these moves at edge, how come you got the 30th pick here? What happened to him? What happened to Nolan Smith? You're not supposed to be looking at edge. 4 years ago, you picked a guy to answer that. Well, 4 years later, he's not the guy. This is like Doomersville, USA. The Eagles absolutely have a shot. Who thought the Seahawks? So you think you have as good a defense right now as the Seahawks, intern? And you think you have as good an offense as them? I do think they're going to step back a little bit because of the OC and Clint Kubiak leaving. Seals, do you think Vic's scheme makes free agent rushers hesitate to sign because they can't produce as much sack-wise? Yeah. That's a good point. Hey, Big Antonio. Has Vic ever coached a top flight defensive end? I know he's done linebackers. Has he ever coached a guy that was a perennial big-time defensive end? I think maybe Khalil Mack up in Chicago. Robert Quinn had a good year up there. So maybe he was there for that. What was Chubb's year in Denver? Let me see what Bradley Chubb's deal was in Denver when he was there. By the way, I don't know. I'm asking. So I think no, but that was a linebacker. See what Chubb did in Denver. 7.5 at 12 his first year. Who was the head coach in 18? Now, Vance Joseph was his coach when he had those 12 sacks. So I think Chubb was the top guy while he was there. Yeah, and why he was there, 7.5. He had 8. So, yeah. He had 11 in 23 in Miami. And I think Vic was there. I think Vic was the D coordinator. Funny, Josh Grizzard was down there. Yeah, Vic Fangio when he had 13 this last year, or his 11 and 23, he was there. That's a good number. Any heat on Goddard with any teams? Here's what's happened with Goddard, from what I'm understanding. The kid that signed from Baltimore that went to New York, and K-Dot and going back to the Buccaneers, the market is not that big because this draft's got some tight ends in it. And teams don't have a big market for tight ends right now. This is why maybe you have a shot at re-signing Dallas Goedert. Because teams are going to go into the draft and they're going to get a tight end in the draft. The free agent market's not that hot. And I think Goddard's looking at the price tag right now. And I probably think he's got sticker shock. Like, I would be shocked if that guy got more than $7 million. I'd be shocked if he got that kind of cash. Like, getting north of 10, no way. Yeah, so if I'm the Eagles, I'd probably just sit and wait. Let the market come to me. Or I'd go in the draft and draft a new dude. Eagles should have re-signed a young defensive talent and trimmed the older offensive, expensive talent. They're not touching anything of Nick Sirianni's precious, underachieving offense. Get this. You've given extensions and like big-time deals in the last 2 years. Okay? Like, coming off the Super Bowl, you gave all those guys all that money, and it underachieved, and it fell off the face of the map last year. Your old line, I mean, the back, all the people, look at the people you gave extensions to. Cam stunk. Barkley was half the player. Those two dudes, I mean, they didn't produce. Okay, once again, Jimbo, name me one thing you've done good that you think. Okay, if you think the extension of Jordan Davis is cool, no problem. I'll go there. Jordan Davis. How about your coaching hires? What do you give that grade? Folks, let's do this here for Jimbo. So far, the Eagles, when was the Eagles' last game of the year? Kyle, what was the last game of the year? Give me a day and a month. So we're going to do this for Jimbo because he thinks it's Doomsday Dan. Okay. So we're going to do this. Kyle, what was the last game of the year? Sills, that was a terrible take. I think you mean my dude. Everybody gets paid that for Vic, Milton, Sweat, etc. So I disagree with that take. Look at Vic's history, okay? Look at his history. He's never had a number one defense, and he never won a Super Bowl until 2 years ago in 40 years. Okay. Prince, no problem. Thank you for the super. What was the last day? Okay, January 11th. Thank you, Kyle. Okay, how many days since January 11th? So let's go here. How many days since January 11th? 58 days since the last game of the year. 58 days. Almost 2 months. In the last 2 months, Jimbo, what do you make of your offensive coaching hires? And losing Christian Parker. Let's start with coaching. And the coaching hires. How'd that go? A, B, C, or D? What do you think? A, B, C, or D? Coaching. Oh, no. Jimbo said Doomsday Day. I'm going to ask. So I'm going to let you guys answer it instead of me answering it. What do you make of the coaching hires with intern experience? Yet to be determined? Jesus Christ. So you hired people you don't know anything about and you're not sure what they're going to do. That's this guy's attitude. To be determined. I have no idea who they are. You know who Vic Fangio is, right? So on the other end of that, you have no idea who they are. Okay. So guys, give me a grade on what you think the hires have been. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Your coaching hires? Incomplete. I have no idea. I don't know who any of these guys are. I can't even give them an F. To be fair, I don't know who they are. Is that fair? You're giving them a C plus based on what? Guys never call plays. How's that panned out for you? I mean, based on what, dude? Your intuition? Okay? So I'm going to go incomplete. Yeah, listen. I'm going to go incomplete because I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of these guys. Okay. So let's go Jordan Davis is signing. Oh, by the way, the losing of Christian Parker in your secondary, is that going to be a loss or no? Yes or no? You don't probably know? Is the loss of Christian Parker a deal? It's not a deal. Okay. So you don't think it's a big loss, losing Christian Parker, who's now the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. What about the loss of Jeff Stoutland? Okay, unsure. Okay. What about the loss of Jeff Stoutland? Is that a loss or no? These Eagle fans are in total denial. Hey, by the way, my friend, I'm just talking about what they've done so far in 58 days. So you lost Christian Parker, Jeff Stoutland, and you hired intern coaches. I gave that an incomplete. I think losing Jeff Stoutland and Christian Parker together, I think that's significant. But hey, who am I? So what about losing 3 starters on defense now? What do you make of that? Is that a loss or no? What do you make of that? By the way, I'm only going on what you've done so far. This is what you've done. Hey, by the way, Jordan Davis, some of you like it? Okay, Jordan Davis. So here's what we've come up with in 58 days. You hired intern coaches. I gave it an incomplete because I don't know who they are. You lost Christian Parker and Jeff Stoutland. I think that's a significant deal. You lost 3 starters so far in 58 days on defense. And you re-signed Jordan Davis. How's your offseason gone? How do you think that offseason's gone so far? Doomsday Dan, I'm just commenting on how and what you've done. Parker isn't Stoutland? Not the point. You lost both of them. Just started. So what's next? Jay, what do you think's next? Are you free agency's not going to help you? So what? The draft and a trade? Like that, right? I'm just commenting on what you're doing so far. You got me wrong, dude. Doomsday Dan? Okay. Here's what the Eagles have done. You hired inexperienced football coaches with a first-year play caller that hasn't panned out at all since Nick Sirianni's been the head coach. You lost Christian Parker and Jeff Stoutland. You signed to an extension Jordan Davis, and you've lost 3 starters on defense. That's doomsday? I'm sorry your general manager and your owner have created that, but I didn't do this. They did. It's not doomsday, guy. It's what you've done. Vic controls the defense and coaches. No loss. Oh, okay. I hate these dumbass delusional fans that think the Eagles are great no matter what they do. We must admit, Giants and Dallas have gotten significantly better on paper. Leon, on paper. Okay? They got to play in September. If Dallas gets Patrick Queen as rumored, we must make a move. Keeping my head up, Sills. Listen, yeah. Howie's not going to go into free agent market and help his football team at all with any of these guys left. Chubb, maybe. But he's got to make a trade. Because this year was not really rich in free agents. Sills, come on, Eagles have Roseman and Laurie, and they plug-and-play strategy. Coaches and players are replaceable. Okay? 2 years in a row, again, that 2024 defense was one of the best units I ever saw. Last year, you got better by the end of the year, and you ran out of gas in the Niner game because of the incompetence of the offense. You take 3 starters off that football team. By the way, let me ask you something here. Am I right when I say this? When Kobe Dean was put in that starting lineup, he also changed the way the defense played when he came off of IR. Did he not? Did he not change how he played? And that's what basically got Jahad Campbell. Well, he got Jahad Campbell benched. Did he not? Okay. He got him benched. Got better with Dean. Got better with Dean. And then what else? You got significantly better when you added Jalen Phillips. Dean made the defense better. Yes. He was a missile. Yeah, he was so good. They put their first-round draft choice on the bench. Sky is falling. I don't know how this guy, or how you people say losing 3 starters was a good day. And how are you replacing them? You think teams are just going to pick the phone up and call Howie up and go, how can we help you out here? Recoup your team or help you on new players. Do you actually think that's what is going to go down? Hey, yeah. Hey, I want to help you, Howie. I know you lost your edge rusher. Why don't we send you ours? Is that how you think this works? Because those are starters we can afford to lose. So you guys just got through saying the defense got better when Dean and Phillips were put in. He says there's no difference and they're replaceable. Well, you don't have anybody on your roster right now that can replace those 2 guys. Because if that was the case, Jahad Campbell would have started over him. That's not true. It's untrue. Did what we had to do with where our franchise is at today, we aren't in a situation to spend $300 million like the Raiders did. The Raiders have to spend that money because they're terrible. Brandon, when you see teams spending a ton of money, I'm not talking about the Eagles. I saw a stupid line. Where was that? That the Eagles have spent the least amount of money in free agency. That's a good thing. You know why? Teams that spend a lot of money, they suck. Those are teams that suck. Giants, Raiders. So I'm talking about losing dudes and not having people on your bench to replace them. I'm not talking about them spending money. I'm not spending money. I get the Jalen Phillips cash. I get it. But you don't have an answer to. You weren't prepared on Jalen Phillips leaving. You were not prepared. Okay, what are we flip-flopping on? I'm curious. What are we flip-flopping on? Because I'd like to, what's flip-flopping on what? Like on what are you talking about? Taylor, I'll wait. What are you talking about? Flip-flopping on what exactly? Day 2? Dude, all the good players go in day 1. On what? On what? If you're going to say that, get me. On what? Biggest loss so far is Stout for me, okay? You should say it's okay they didn't spend $1 trillion. No. I'm talking about the losses. Eagles have 4 contracts next year. Next year? Fuck that. What about 26? You already took a shit on 25. Are you taking a shit on 26 too? Bro, I don't give a shit about 27. What are you talking about? Let Howie. Oh, so what? Howie is so far out in front, he's forgetting the present. Because last year, his defense and his football team, after September, they were 7-7. They were 500. 500. 500. Sills, do you really trust Howie to draft a safety? Last time the hit on a safety was Dawkins. I'd rather sign one. These guys think he's great. I want to see him go back in the draft and do it again. Wait, how can we be prepared if there's no one out there? Well, wait a minute. You drafted a guy 30th. That's an end. You're missing the point of all this. You've missed on Nolan Smith. You didn't have a plan in case Jalen Phillips did what he did to you. Leave you in the dirt. Seals, you taking Josh Sweat back? Apparently, he asked for a trade after Gannon got the boot. Cardinals insiders report. At $19 million? Fuck yeah, I'll pick that contract up. At 19? Yeah. I'd make that move in a minute. He had 12 sacks last year. The guy had 12 sacks. I'll take that any day. Sills, are you under the impression they want to keep Nolan Smith? I think I'm under the impression they have to keep Nolan Smith. So Sweat say he regrets leaving. Yeah. He don't regret being in that Lamborghini or whatever he's in. Sills, how did the Eagles screw up on Nolan Smith? Now he is saying he's been a bust. Well, he is. He's not been a starter. If you're not starting, dude, and you're had to go out and get another end like Jalen Phillips, and Jalix Hunt has beat you out, and you're always hurt, you tell me what you think he is. Sean, do you think he's like a guy who's going to start for you for 17 games? Never happened. Wait, well, if you keep him on the team, he's $15 million. Bring Sweat home. I would have no problem with that. Guy had 12 sacks last year. Too small. Eagles better pay Carter. Nothing worse than a guy who does less work, gets paid more. Like I said, man, guy's a 2-down player and he got $26 million. Okay. Congratulations. Sills, put the word for Sweat. Campaign Sills. I would totally dig him back. Howie trading with Arizona to bring him back? What were his numbers a year ago? I'm going to double check this. Let's see, Josh Sweat. $12 sacks. How about this, folks? In the last 4 years, Josh Sweat has done this. In the last 4 years, Josh Sweat has 38 sacks. And you got rid of that? At $19 million. And he's 28. He's 28 years old. He's 28 years old, and in the last 4 years, he's got 38 sacks. I mean, and he was the Super Bowl MVP on the defensive side of the ball. And you ain't got anybody on that football team that's anywhere near that guy. 19 million? I'll go get him right now. Let's see here. Let's do here and go over here. Let me double check something here. Let's see here. And Jalen Phillips will be 27 years old in May. And Sweat's 28. There's a year's difference. If Goddard ends up back for $8 million a year, is that a huge win? Yeah, I think so. I do. I think that's a big win. Okay. I get they missed on Smith, but what do you know? You can't go back. That's not the point. You're in the position you are today because of that miss. I'm not going back. I'm telling you where you are today. Everything you do, Howie does this, everything you do 2-3 years from now is going to impact what you do and what's going to happen today. The missing on Nolan Smith is where you are right now, why you've had to spend money and draft picks and in free agency. Same thing with the Rager move. Now, the Rager move is way in the past, but the Nolan Smith miss has affected your way you do business on defense, especially at the edge position. He's not panning out. And when that means that, you put a 3 out there for Phillips, you lose Phillips. You had to pay Bryce Huff $17 million. And when Nolan Smith didn't pan out, now you have to go back in the draft and you got to get another edge. You're not looking at the overall totality when you draft high and you draft a player high and what the impact is on your cap and on your roster. You're missing the whole thing. Hopefully Rager saved his money. Well, here, the Rager thing, as I pointed out, 3 years of Rager's rookie contract, you lose all of that because he wasn't productive. Like Jefferson in Minnesota, you had those 3 years of him being on a rookie deal, and he was giving you iconic years. You spread that money around. You guys had to go give A.J. Brown $32 million because of the miss on Rager. And you gave a 1-up. Seals, we got AJ because Rager was a total flop. Yeah. It cost you a 1 and $32 million a year. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. These players aren't signed yet, so we could still those deals are done. But they become official on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Like, you're not going back. No, you're not going to see anybody go and renege out of the deal. These deals are pretty much consummated, and they'll be official when the new year starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. Hell, I didn't even know we were down here already. So what's your remedy? Pale me? Because this show sounds exactly like the last 2 off seasons listening to the show. Well, I was right this last off season. Thank you, I guess. Milton was flopping last year. It's definitely possible, but not likely. Milton did not flop last year. I don't know what you're talking about. We won 2 Super Bowls with 2 completely different teams. I don't take long to rebuild a team. Okay? I'm assuming it won't take long to rebuild. You know, how when you are signed up to all these contracts on offense that you're pigeonholed with all those deals, do you think you're going to move off of all those deals? Massacre Monday. Let me see. Let me refresh over here. Let me see if anybody. Oh, Jesus. Ugh. Let's see here. Jaquan Brisker feels like a natural fit for the Eagles. Who the fuck are these guys? I sound like Conor McGregor now. Who the fuck are these guys? That's what you're in the land of now. Let me get this going here. Without further ado, by the way, Mark Farzetta will join us at 4:30. Massacre Monday. Year 2 of the blowtorch continues. 3 starters. You know that you could potentially lose 5 starters this offseason. With Goddard, AJ, and these dudes right here that. Can you believe that? You could possibly lose 5 starters. All right. Without further ado, we bring you Big Z, Zander, Krauss, and how you doing on this post-mortem Massacre Monday? How you doing, bro?
What's up, Sills? How you doing, brother? Free agency, but not too good for the Birds, man. I gotta, Sills, it's good when I got the whole chat this morning. Some are either saying you're right, and some are either ripping it. Oh, you're overreacting. It's a good time if that's happening, but. A lot of players leaving this football team, man. It makes me queasy, Sileo.
Okay, let's start here. 3 starters lost off your defense. That's now 8 in 2 years. What do you make of that?
Well, I make of it that I can't stop thinking about listening to you in the first couple minutes of your show today, and you rattled off the 8 guys. And let's just real quick. Darius Slay and Isaiah Rodgers would be your cornerbacks. Reed Blankenship and C.J. Gardner-Johnson will be your safeties. Nakobe Dean and Oren Burks will be your linebackers. Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, and Jalen Phillips will be your defensive line. I mean, that's a damn near championship defense right there, Sills.
And if you want, you can go back and make that deal back with Booker, and there's your backup guy.
There you go.
And you put Booker back there, too. I mean.
Dude, that's a lot of guys, Sills.
That's a lot of good guys.
I know. It's a lot of good players. And, I think I think the gray area is the truth. I mean, you're not going to pay everybody, but I also agree with you. Like, if that's the excuse you're going to make when every single person leaves your building, how long is that going to last for? Until you're the Raiders? So I'm not a huge fan of using that for everything. I'm not saying everybody should be gone, but they've clearly made some bad decisions here. Clearly. And to chalk it all up to, well, they can't pay everybody, I think is naive. I mean, Josh Sweat could have been here and they wouldn't have never had to trade a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Phillips and then let Jalen Phillips walk. Had Nolan Smith developed, as you point out, better, maybe they're not even looking for an edge at that level. So there are a lot of things here. And my main concern is the team has been so defensive for 2 years. And the defense has really been the anchor of the success. Wouldn't you agree with that the last couple of years?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing that has really gotten blown up. And you look at the offensive side of the ball. Who's left the offense in the last 2 years?
Jahan Dotson.
That's it. Now, maybe Goddard leaves now, but still, it's pretty amazing that as good as the defense has been, I mean, they really just have crazy faith in Vic Fangio, or they just believe he's going to turn the chicken scratch into chicken soup. It's pretty crazy that that's the build of the team, and that's the side of the ball you let everybody walk. But
is Vic the most important coach in that building?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the way they handle the personnel there maybe proves it.
Yes. 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 Boy, I'll tell you, man, this is the second year in a row. Last year, you lost 4 starters. This year, 3 starters. I mean, how come they don't touch the offense, man? Is it because they can't?
Well, I do think some of the contracts are hard. I mean, remember, one of the reasons that Howie is able to play ball the way he does is because most of the time he's been pretty good on his contracts recently in terms of evaluation of players. So if a contract blows up, i.e. AJ Brown, it gets ugly quick because you can't move on from the player without destroying your cap. So that's why the AJ Brown thing's at a standstill. So, if they get it right, then no, it's not a problem. But the second you start wanting to get rid of some of those big contracts, that's when life gets real tough.
Would you trade AJ Brown for Nick Bosa?
Ooh. Well, considering that I'd prefer a good player over a draft pick at this point, yeah, but do you think Nick Bosa's better days are behind him?
Do you think AJ Brown's better days are behind him?
Yeah, I do.
See, to me, you got a golden nugget still. It's AJ. I don't think you're going to get better.
Yeah, but it's hard
You're
to
not
move
going to
on
get better
from
in free
AJ.
agency, right? You're not going to get better in free agency. It's not been a great free agent market.
No,
maybe Chubb,
yeah.
maybe Chubb, somebody like that, right?
Trade market?
A trade market, yes, I think you can.
I mean, that's where I think they're looking.
Okay.
I think it's trade or bust at this point.
So I'd start looking around with some of the top edges, some of the top defensive ends.
I will say I do like Chubb. Like I'd be good with.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'd be good with him. Nose Vic, I'm good with that. But
yeah, I'm good with that.
You got a golden nugget here, and your golden nugget is AJ. You got a golden nugget here, man.
I don't know that he's a golden nugget.
Well, I'll tell you what, other teams might think that. Other teams might think that.
What do you make of that new deal with Romeo Doubs?
I think it's
John
okay.
just tweeted, he said this. Does anybody really believe signing Romeo Doubs would mean the Patriots would stop wanting A.J. Brown?
Absolutely not. It's a meme move. It's like, dude, he's never been over 700 yards. He's only like a 600 yards guy. He's not like a top flight guy. He's not, bro. He'd be the third wheel. I'm not sure he beat Jahan Dotson out last year in this team. I mean, he's not done anything exceptional. But biggest year was 59 catches. I mean, come on, guy. What are we talking about? I mean, he's like a 2 or 3 on some teams. That's not going to be a guy to move the needle for Drake May. But here, I want to show you something on free agency. Don't you agree the only move that has been made so far during this period has been really the Max Crosby trade? That's the only needle mover I see. Is there another needle mover deal you've seen? I mean, Jalen Phillips is a good player. A good player they got, exceptional money. He's a $30 million guy. And I'm like,
yeah, but what's the opposite of a needle mover in the right direction?
Somebody that impacts your football team immediately.
No. I'm talking about, you're right. That's what a needle mover is. That's why Max Crosby is that. What's the opposite of that? When your team loses talent that significantly impacts your team. And it's one thing to ride the middle. It's another thing to get a needle mover. And then it's another thing to also have a needle mover against you where you lose significant starters on your defense. Because that's what I think's happened to the Eagles.
Totally.
John compared it to one of the other teams, I guess, that hasn't made any moves. And I'm like, but that team didn't lose 3 starters on their best side of the ball. So, for the Eagles, I think it's a little different. I really do. But I don't know, man. We will see. I'm curious to see what they do.
Who's their biggest loss?
Well, it's probably Phillips, because who do they have to replace him right now? No one, but and that's the most important position. Now, Reed, you can make an argument for Reed too, because right now it's Sidney Brown, and I brought his name up this morning, and John laughed at it and said, "Yeah, Vic is out on Sidney Brown. They might trade that guy." So, we'll see. Swagger doesn't think these guys are a big deal. Swagger, I'm telling you, man, you're wrong. We're building a championship defense with the guys that are gone.
Okay, so here's your defense so far, right now. Moro Jomo, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Aziza Ojalara, Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, Nolan Smith, Adoree Jackson, Sidney Brown or Michael Carter, Makuba, Quinyon Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean. How you feeling about that, D?
That's a freaking home run, D. Some of those guys aren't even under contract. Ojulari and Uche's not here. Right?
I don't know. I can't keep count of all these dudes that are bolting on this team. I just can't keep count.
Oh, it's silly. Yeah.
Wait a second here. So let me read this to you too. Now, I've been called today Doomsday Dan.
Doomsday. Wait, what did you call the Monday? The Monday
Massacre.
The Monday Massacre. Oh no.
Okay,
the Monday freaking Massacre, baby.
Okay, so I'm called Doomsday Dan. And it's been 58 days since your last football game against the 49er JV team. And in that time, you've hired an intern coaching staff on offense. You lose Christian Parker and you lose Jeff Stoutland. You extended Jordan Davis. You can make what you will. I think it's a good move. And you lost 3 starters. Less than 2 months. How do you think the offseason's going so far for Philly?
Well, it's not going good yet.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Okay, so you think there's good things to come?
Well, what if they trade A.J. Brown for, a first and a second, and they use, I don't know, a second to move up, and they draft this, a star edge rusher or a star tackle, and they trade for Jonathan Grenard, and they draft that safety. What's that safety's name that everybody wants in the NFL draft this year? I'm blanking on his name right now.
It's not Styles. Who is it's the kid from Ohio State, Downs.
Goofy name. No. Oh, Downs. I was talking about the other guy. I think he's
the
Oregon.
kid from Tennessee.
No,
what's his name? Bolton?
Dylan Tinneman from Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, Dylan from Oregon. Does that look better? Jonathan Grenard on the edge. You got a tackle for
that name. Those draft guys, I don't give a shit about.
Well, you're gonna draft a tackle for Lane because, by the way, if they don't draft a tackle for Lane, you'll be crushing them next year that they didn't prepare for it.
Hey, they weren't prepared for losing Jalen Phillips. That's for damn sure.
No, they weren't. They weren't prepared for losing Josh Sweat. That was supposed to be Nolan Smith.
Would you take him back, Josh Sweat?
Yeah,
12 sacks last year at 19 mil.
I'm surprised we haven't heard anything on Goddard yet, Sills. Right?
I think he's disappointed in the market because I heard this about the market. When that kid from Baltimore went up to New York, and then when Travis went back to Kansas City and then Otten went back to Tampa, dude, I hear a lot of people think that tight end market is pretty good this year in the draft. And a lot of teams are going to draft tight end. So if I'm Goddard, I don't know, bro. You may be going back with your hand back in your back pocket again, $4 million lighter than what you played last year.
Oh my douche! If you get Goddard for what would that be for $6 million?
$6 million.
Ooh, baby, that'd be good. I'd be happy.
The Eagles played that right.
I got a Goddard jersey I'm still supposed to give away. I Eduardo Reza won the jersey, and he says, you can hold on to that one. Guy wins a free Eagles jersey, a stitched Goddard and Kelly Green, and he hits me with the, I don't really want it. You can keep it.
What do you make of Vic Fangio right now? What do you think he's thinking?
He's got 1 year left.
So he don't care?
No, I think he cares, but what's he going to do? He's also probably smart enough to know he's not doing it, He's not going to get his way. Vic strikes me as the kind of guy that's not going to worry about things he can't control.
No. He's not going to be like me and you circling the wagon.
Hey, don't get it twisted. I wouldn't be like this, but I'm getting paid to be, so I got it.
How
I don't give a rat's ass.
about this? May 1st. Has Nolan Smith gained a little leverage now that Jalen Phillips left? You think he gains a little bit more juice in the room where, bro, you got to pick up $15 million.
Cheap. It's pretty cheap. The 5th year.
$15 million for a role player?
Well, 15 million. I thought it was a little less than that, actually.
It's 14.3
Nolan Smith
for his 5th-year option.
Is that what it is?
14.3, I believe.
Yeah, it says between 13.75 and 15.3. So you're probably right. It's probably right there.
You paying that much money?
Dude, that's pretty cheap.
For a backup player?
He's not a backup player.
Well, he will be.
He's a starter right now, Mr. Sileo.
Yeah. Okay. On March 10th, he's
dude, Jalen Phillips just got 30. 14 for Nolan. I know Nolan hasn't panned out to what we want him to be, but I don't know. Is he $16 million cheaper than Jalen Phillips? I don't know about that. Jalen Phillips did not wow me that much.
No way. I hate doing this, but I knew this was going to go here. Like, you're really going to like the player. I knew he was good. I knew all that, but I knew when Drew Rosenhaus got this guy in the open market, I'm like, that guy is not staying here. It's just too much money out there for him. Bro, how about the cash that you're seeing being thrown around right now in the NFL? I mean, Romeo Dobbs got paid, and he's like, okay.
I know. Well, okay. It's like the NBA now. You know, like I remember when Tobias Harris got his deal in Philly, and I remember being like, holy shit. I mean, he was like an okay player, but that's like a Joel Embiid size deal. That's kind of the same in the NFL, you know. They signed Romeo Dobbs to be the 2nd or 3rd wide receiver, and they gave him $18 million a year to do it. That's pretty cheap. What was it? How much did they give him?
I think if you look at the signing bonus and the sign, I think the guarantee's 30 over 4. Am I right when I say that?
I'm going to look now.
Was it 30?
I don't like the trade that the Jets did.
For what, Gino?
Yeah. 4 years, 68. Yeah, so it's like under 20. It's like 15.
What's
17 or 18.
Yeah. All right. Jalen Carter. When's this deal come?
I think it's coming. I think it's coming soon. And I think it's going to be massive. I mean,
around the draft?
It could come sooner. I mean,
I'll be shocked.
I was blown away by the Jordan Davis deal. I would imagine that we're going to be blown away by the Jalen Carter deal too.
I'll be shocked.
Will you?
Yeah.
Well, I think they could kick it to next year potentially.
He's still going to make 28 with that 5th year.
Yeah, well.
And they might want to structure it the same way they structured Jordan's.
Do you want to see it?
They get a break on it a little bit in the front end, you know?
Did the Eagles put him in the same position they put Jordan in? Remember, they made Jordan earn it.
Okay, and Jordan earned it. And if I'm Jalen Carter,
most of the time,
if I see that I have it at the end of the rainbow and you pick my 5th year up and I'm going to make 28, I mean, dude, I get a massive increase. I go to 28 my 5th year. They've got control of me. Even if they wanted to franchise me, remember something. Zander, the Eagles have Jalen Carter for the next 3 years if they want. They can franchise tag him twice. So he can't fucking go anywhere. It's not like he can go anywhere. So for me, I'd be like, okay, look, this is what we're going to do, homie. We're going to give you 28. You come back. Then we're going to give you a 3-year contract extension. And if he does play well, the cap is going up $25 million anyway. Do you know how many teams started the season $13 million under the cap this coming season? 25 teams. Zander, there's so much money coming into the league right now. All the teams can't spend it all the way up to the cap. So I think they're going to kick the can down the road on the guy. Now, by the way, I don't think picking up a 5th-year option at $28 million is chump change either.
Wait, so just to be clear, do you have them paying Carter, Quinion, and Cooper next year?
I have them paying Cooper, and they may pay Carter during the year.
They don't like to do that. They would do if they did it with Carter, they would do what they did with Jordan. Pick up
They
the
may
fifth
do it in
year.
training camp then.
Because remember, the Eagles picked up the Davis fifth-year option last year.
When did they do Cam's deal last year? Do you remember?
I think they did Cam's deal in March.
Like around OTAs?
Let me look it up.
Did they do it around?
No, wait.
I thought it was OTAs.
Yeah, April. It was April.
Okay, so it was right before the draft.
Right before the draft.
See, I think around there could be a time when they come to the table with him.
4 years, $68 million.
You think Howie's got to play up his sleeve yet?
Yeah, I do. I mean, he's got draft capital, and he's got good players that are maybe on the trading block. I think that's what he's trying to do maybe with Carter is I don't know if he wants to trade Carter, but maybe he's trying to gauge what caliber of players he can acquire and what it's going to cost to acquire them. And to do that, sometimes even if it's not even what you want to do, you throw out assets just to see what they'll say yes to, or what to see what'll get him to blink, and maybe that's what he's doing, but it'd have to be a trade, right?
Yeah.
So
you're not going to go into
a great player, or you're trading a premium asset.
Would you trade A.J. Brown for that kid, Josh Hines Allen?
Oh, that kid can play, dude. I don't know that is he the right fit for – he might be the right fit. He's pretty versatile, actually. You notice how that guy had to change his name. He used to go by Josh Allen?
Yeah.
He had to change his name.
Hey, listen, they need another wideout down there in Jacksonville, too, on the other side of Thomas. Because they're going to play, what's his name, Travis Hunter, exclusively on defense coming up this year.
Are they? Is that what they've decided with him?
Yep. Yeah, like all these top edge rushers, like when you look at all these top edge rusher guys, you're not trading for TJ Watt. He's 32. The Lions would never get rid of Aiden Hutchinson for A.J. Brown. That's not happening. Myles Garrett, I mean, that name is always going to be there because he sits in Shittsville, Brownsville. Nick Bosa's fifth on this list at $34 million. Jalen Phillips, get this, Jalen Phillips went from where he is. Where is he now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Jalen Phillips is now the 8th highest paid edge rusher in pro football at $30 million a year, dude.
It's crazy, man.
Dude.
The NFL is wild.
$30 million. Okay, do you think anything has happened so far that changes your opinion that they're going to go offensive tackle?
Yeah, 100%. They don't have an edge rusher to start. I think they could go edge in round one, assuming they don't make a big trade. Now, I think they're in the Grenard market. So if they go that route, I like Chubb too. I wouldn't be upset if they come into the year with Chubb, Jalix Hunt, and Nolan Smith as their top 3. I don't think that would be awful. I don't think it'd be groundbreaking, but I don't think it'd be awful.
So you want to, that's the new name is Grenard, right?
Yeah. Or Chubb.
Let me see here. Where's he right now in the pay list?
Yeah, I knew that name is going to be a pumper, of course. Leave it to pumper.
How much is that? How much is he making? Right
Bradley
now.
Chubb?
Grenard, what's he making?
He's making 19, but he wants a pay raise.
What are you going to pay him?
You got to.
Now he's better than Phillips.
Yeah, he is.
He's a better player.
You're going to have to give up probably a 2 or a 3 and a pay raise.
Wow. Then why didn't I just sign Phillips?
Well, because Phillips isn't as good.
No, he's not.
But you're right. Grenard's probably going to want more than Phillips.
So tell me, man, where have the Eagles gotten better so far this offseason?
They haven't gotten better.
Okay. And you think the draft will make them better?
I didn't swear. You don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing, Mr. Sileo.
I want to get people on the record here.
No, right now, I mean, I don't think the Eagles are. Right now, they're showing that they're not ready to compete in 26. But how we could look, I understand that how we could make a splash and make a move, and we'll change our narrative quickly. I mean, the offense. Look, here's the reality: the offense is still together with a lot of talent. All right, whether they were living up to it or not is not my point here. They have a lot of talent. If the defense, if they do what I said, if they draft a great safety, or if they trade for Grenard or sign Bradley Chubb and, bring in some secondary help and, I don't know, make a splash move somewhere, then it's going to change quick. It'll change really quickly. But as of right now, on March 10th, the reality is the Eagles have gotten worse.
Damn. That's Big Z talking there, boy.
Why is that? That's not crazy to say. Does anybody in their right mind disagree with that?
Well, here's why the difference is. A year ago, when almost the same exact stuff was being done, everyone gave Howie the benefit of the Super Bowl. Now the benefit has worn off. Has it not?
Yeah, it's worn off.
Because you're in the position almost exactly the same place you were a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you agree with this take? So Howie's mentality is this. I'm going to pay a few of my stars, like you said, Quinyon Mitchell and Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper, and I'm going to pay Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, right? Those are my guys I'm going to pay. Well, the New England Patriots have moved off all them guys to pay the unit and to build the unit. In 2024, albeit you had young guys on that team, all guys that were fighting and becoming players in the NFL, that was a better unit, right? So do you think, Zander, it's better to sign 4 guys and lose 8 in the last 2 years?
Well,
this is a team sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough question to answer. Is the alternative, it's not like a thing where you could have had them both, though. You can't have your cake and eat it too there. So how do you answer that question properly? I mean, if I want to keep the 8 guys that left, what of the 4 that we kept would we have to get rid of? Because you're not keeping all of them.
Nope, you got to get rid of some of the stars. That's what New England did.
So who?
I may have punted on Jordan Davis. And I could have got another defensive tackle in the draft, a kid from Florida. Put him in there, Ricky Deal. Give Carter the money. Spread it around. And went that route. I'm not paying $26 million for a 2-down guy. I would have went there. Every single guy that New England had to pay money to, they always moved off of. That's what kept them in the game for so many years, Zander. Look at what take a look at what Kansas City's doing. In the last 4 years, they've got rid of what? Honey Badger, Snead, and Trent McDuffie on defense, right? They got rid of all them guys. And now they're retooling again because they had a down year. And now they're going to be back. Kansas City's got Mahomes. He's the equalizer. So, I mean, my problem with the philosophy, how he's like this. So I'm going to sign a few of my great players, and I'm going to allow the unit to be blowtorched every year. Is that his take? Massacre Monday?
Yeah, wow.
I was told Reed Blankenship's the quarterback of the team.
So do you think the Eagles are going to stink this year?
I sure do.
And what would it take to change that?
Okay. Good call. Let's see. Not getting rid of AJ. You'd have to bring in a guy like Myles Garrett, somebody like that.
Look at Sileo. He creates the illusion of if you get the greatest player in football, the greatest player in football is the only way you think they're going to be a relevant team.
Wait a second. Wait. I keep hammering the Browns because you know why?
Man, you are funny sometimes.
What's this? Why would I fuck Myles Garrett? Why would I keep staying there just for $41 million?
How are you going to get Myles Garrett, Sills?
I'll give you 2 ones. I'll tell you what, you put Myles Garrett next to Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, Jellick's Hunt, you look pretty awful good there, don't you?
Nolan Smith's got to be traded at that point.
Okay. You move that deal. I mean, right? I think you've got to make something of that significance.
I just don't see where it is right now.
How about this one? Do you see Dallas Goedert coming back?
Well, I think the longer it gets, I think the more likely it is that he could come back. I do. I mean, it's Tuesday here. The thing opened at noon yesterday. The deals were fast and furious. A bunch of tight ends came off the board. I think I even saw a couple more tight ends today.
Yep.
And there's Dallas Goedert still sitting there in the open market. I bet you Howie's got his feet up on the desk, when his agent calls, ready to work that deal. Like
the
you
only
said,
thing that
I give you 5-5 with $1 million incentive.
So within the last 2 years, you made me take an $8 million pay cut.
The market's the market. Don't blame me.
Oh,
I mean, isn't that what you got to tell them?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes.
I don't think they're trying to. I don't think they're intentionally trying to. I don't know. That's the one thing I didn't understand with John. Like he was like, Goddard's going to hold that. And I'm like, well, he will. I agree, he will hold it against them. But what did he want him to do?
You only hold that shit against somebody when you have like multiple teams after you. The reason he hasn't signed and his name hasn't been out there, it must be shitty teams, dude. It must be like the Tennessee Titans of the world, the Miami Dolphins, like shit like that.
I'm kind of hoping that Malik Willis has some success in Miami.
Well, you don't think you're not that high on Quinn Ewers?
Man, Quinn Ewers isn't going to do shit. Malik Willis is going to be the starter there. I think I'd like to see him be good this year. I think that would be a great story.
When do all you Philly guys start putting more pressure on that damn stiff offense of yours now? Look what Vic's got to do every year. Vic's got to make chicken soup out of chicken shit every year. When are you going to get this offense going here, man?
JAKIB is the one place on the internet. In fact, we are highly controversial in Eagle Land because we are unafraid to cover the team as they are. And, there's differing opinions, but I don't think that's the right comment here today. If you want to pop over to the radio stations or over to the Eagle fans on X and ask them that question, I think it's fair. But last year, we talked about it ad nauseum. I mean, the offense stunk. Jalen hasn't delivered in the last 2 years to the level you need him to deliver at. The offense isn't delivering for what they're being paid. It's the reason that the team hasn't been as successful as they should be. And look, that's all to say they have been pretty damn successful too. They've won, been to 2 Super Bowls and won one. But look, the reason they fell short last year was because of the offense. So I think we've said that pretty openly, Sills.
You're right.
I don't think we've hit him from that. I really don't. Maybe there are some people out there who do, but that's the reality. I mean, guys, they're ranked 25th in offense. They're not that good of an offense, and they're paid like they're the number one, and they don't produce like it. This is math. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The reality is that's the truth.
Do you think the window of the Super Bowl is closed for the Eagles?
No, I don't think the window's closed just yet. But I think it's getting closer. Remember I was doing that analogy earlier where it could go like this or it could go prop back open? That thing is all, you can fit a finger under that window right now. That's about it. You're not throwing any footballs through that thing. So, he's got to prop it back open. Does a Jonathan Grenard trade do that? Does a Bradley Chubb signing do that? How about an A.J. Brown trade for a first and a second? Does that do that? No, I think it lowers the window.
Do you think you're in a better position right now with A.J. Brown now that the Dobbs deal has been signed with New England? Do you think that you're in a better place or do you think you're in a worse place? I think you're in a worse place, and I'll tell you why. I think you're in a worse place because you may be forced to keep this guy who hates the quarterback.
Well, I wouldn't even pick up the phone on AJ's agent if I was Howie. You're no longer allowed to call me. If you have a trade, you can have the manager, GM of the other team give me a call. If not, I don't want to hear from you. I don't give a rat's ass what AJ thinks. I don't care what his opinion is of the team. I don't give a rat's ass. Did the check clear? Okay, good. All right. I'll see you next week or whenever it is. So I wouldn't be listening to AJ Brown. Try and get the best value for your team. If you need to do it, do it. But it's not going to be it's not going to make the team better. Does anybody think trading AJ Brown for a first and a third or a first and a second makes your team better? No, it gives you more assets, gives you more ability to shake and bake in the future, but it doesn't necessarily make your team. So, I'm kind of with Reyes at this point. Like, put the fucking guy on the bench. I don't even care anymore. I really don't. I mean, this dude is I'm tired of hearing about him. I'm tired. The Albert Breer thing, I went off on it again today, was such a crock of shit. It really pissed me off on him. So, it is what it is.
So, I think something else plays out here too, because, at the end of the day with AJ, they're saying this, we're moving forward, we're going to go forward, we feel good, but they don't really believe this. And what you guys are saying about putting him on the bench, so you lose the productivity of that guy because
they're not putting him on the bench.
You want to make a point?
They're not putting him on the bench. Well, he's been trying to make a point for 2 years.
Yeah, he's trying to get out of here.
Yeah, all right, we'll get him out of here then. Go get the best value.
I mean, I'll tell you what, man, you must have been very, very easy. Well, breaking up when you had chicks back in the day. Now he's getting married, so it's old school Zander. But hey, listen, I'm moving on. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I'll see you later. Make sure you pick up your shoes. It's all good.
I let them have the cat fights. I just moved on. I just went my own way.
Yeah. No problem. I'm out. So that's how hey, fuck you, man. All right, you want to leave? That's all good, right?
Well, listen, you can't attach yourself to shit like this.
You think your relationship with if you're AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, you think it's over?
No, I don't know. I don't freaking know a thing about the way they communicate. I have no idea. No clue.
Got to have some type of relationship, man, with each other.
I don't think AJ Brown is a guy I'd want in my corner, though. I'll tell you that.
Really?
Why would you?
You don't think he stuck up for the team this last year when no one else wanted to?
Well, I guess it depends how you look at it. I mean, if you stick up for the team, but you throw the quarterback under the bus, if you believe, I guess there's a way to look at it that you think it's for the betterment of the team. But I don't believe there's a football world that exists where you backstab your quarterback and that makes you a better football team. I just don't. I've never seen that. Maybe you can educate me. Maybe there has been an instance where backstabbing a quarterback, has panned out. I don't think it's a good look. It's not the way I would handle it. I have no problem with them fighting, bickering, arguing, being mad at each other because of the offense, being mad because it drops or throws or anything. But when you go to Albert Breer through your agent and say, hey, I need a better quarterback, when you've been given 2 max contracts with the quarterback you're with and you've accomplished as much as you have with the quarterback you're with, I don't think you're a good guy. I think you're a snake. And I think you're self-righteous.
I want you to educate me now on something that went on in Philly. You help me out. Was the locker room divided when Wentz was there between Wentz and Hurts? And did Alshon Jeffries divide the locker room?
I don't know if it was as divided on Wentz and Hurts. I think it was more divided on, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't remember how it went with Wentz and Hurts. But I do know Carson Wentz was very controversial because of the religion thing. And like that analogy Jason Cole gave the other day where he's like, in a locker room, you got to play all kinds of music. You got to, and I think Carson had alienated people if they didn't subscribe to his, Christian beliefs or whatever in the locker room, which is not a way to lead a locker room of men from all different, colors and backgrounds and religions and creeds and whatever the case may be. So I'm pretty sure that's how it went. I know Wentz was controversial, but I don't remember it being like about Wentz or Hurts. I don't recall that. The team was like 3-9 when they benched Wentz.
Okay. Who do you think was a better teammate, Wentz or Hurts, when it came to player relationships in the locker room?
I think Hurts has been better.
Significantly better?
I can't say significantly. There's been a couple rumblings that he's not the greatest here either, But I think it's just his personality. I think his personality rubs people the wrong way.
You think his personality's rubbed AJ the wrong way? You think this is more personality driven or more more about the quarterback skill.
No, I don't think it's personality driven.
It's more about a skill, right?
No, but I think when you have an issue with the skill, maybe that's when the personality pisses you off. You know, like you might love somebody, but when you start bickering with somebody, then all of a sudden everything that person does pisses you off. You know, it could be that, but I don't think it's personality first. I think it's, you know, football field first, and then it's maybe permeated. But again, I don't know. Do they even dislike each other? I don't know.
I don't know that either. I'm just asking. I don't. If AJ is traded, do you think it's June 1st after, or do you think it's draft?
After June 1. Well, I guess they could designate it, but, you know, that's why I was wondering, do they try and make up a move and get like a second rounder this year and maybe a future first or something?
Yeah.
You know, could they try and do it that way?
That's kind of what I was trying to say last night on my Twitter, but I fucked it up.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I fucked it up, and I wanted to designate, not post date, designate to like you get a first rounder next year and you get like a 2 or 3 this year. I still think it's New England, dude. I still think it's New England.
All right, well then come correct.
No, I do.
They can either come correct or they can try and go back to the Super Bowl with Romeo Doubs.
Okay. Do you believe this year or this week Howie makes a significant move? I mean, wait a minute, Zeke, before you answer that. I'm looking for the memo. The Eagles do know that free agency started Monday, right? I mean, they do know that it started Monday. I'm just
but this is, you know, hey, listen, you know, a lot of scrub teams play ball in free agency.
I mean, just, you know, I mean, I'm just looking here.
Wait, let me ask you, would you rather the Eagles draft shitty?
It's cheaper. It's cheaper, and it spreads my money next year.
I don't know. Is it cheaper? Jalen Phillips got $30 million large.
How much you want to pay him?
I'm just saying. Is it cheaper to not draft well? It's probably not. I get your point. When you draft as good as the Eagles, you got money problems.
When you draft, though, you're going. You get the rookie deal.
What gives you the best chance at long-term success? To me, it's drafting well.
It's drafting.
It's drafting.
It's drafting because it helps your cap.
Right.
This is not
drafting well.
This is not true. This is not true here.
That's
it's not true. Massacre Monday.
I need a drink, man. My fucking mouth is dry from all these questions. I got to try and walk my. I got to back up the Eagles right now to Sileo. I don't have any backup. Howie, give me some backup.
I told Zander, man, he'd be working on the weekend. Little did I realize on Monday, there he was. Deals were falling. He was doing the Nakobe Dean, and then bang, Reed Blankenship bangs. Right there, 3 starters whacked within a matter of 8 hours, man. Holy shit. You think this is a blowtorch like it was a year ago to the defense?
Well, you lost 3 starters, so it's a mild blowtorch. It's like a campfire.
Yeah, it's a campfire.
Yeah, it's not quite the Tesla blowtorch. You know the Tesla. What's the Tesla gun they have? A
flamethrower thing.
Yeah, the flamethrower. It's not quite the flamethrower.
Elon made that actually. He said he made 25,000 of them. They sold out.
Yeah, I wanted to buy one, but I didn't have that. I don't remember when they went for sale, but
yeah, man.
Yeah, I would have bought one of them though. Those things are pretty badass.
Z. Whew, man. Your Eagles never stop, man. You know, they spent the least amount of money in free agency too, 1.25.
That's not a bad thing.
It's not. It's actually a good thing. But I don't think they've had. Hey, you know what? Z, this is where you go when you don't have plans on how you replace people and why they have to go through this. Who's replacing Reed Blankenship? Sidney Brown?
No, it's not. It's not. Look at Mike Pinge. Look, that it's not quite a blowtorch. It's just enough for us to have a fireside chat. It's just a big enough fire for us to have a fireside chat.
Fireside chat.
Twiz, did you listen to what I said? Look at this ding dong. To go to Tesla. One, Twiz, I don't drive a dorky Tesla. Two, they're fine cars. I don't mind people who do. And three, we were talking about a blowtorch or a flamethrower. What are you talking? Yeah, Twiz, I know you got a pea-sized brain between your two ears, but maybe you use those damn ears. All right. Holy shit, Twizzler.
So Sidney Brown and Nolan Smith, man, gotta have big ears this coming season. We'll be leaning on them,
man. Ask Brian Pumper about Sidney Brown. This guy's apparently loves
Pump. What's up with Sidney?
Pumper loves Sidney Brown. Well, he's got like a whole nickname for him and everything, man. I don't get it, but I brought him up today, and John laughed and goes, he goes, what did he say this morning? He goes, yeah, I think Vic's out on Sidney Brown. I think they might even trade Sidney Brown. So I don't know.
Give me the temperature of what the Eagle media and how they're treating this.
Oh, God, they're all holding the cape for the Eagles. I don't know why they all have such a hard time having any bad words. Like, it's always has to be an over-explanation. Like, why do you feel the need to over-explain everything? Just, it is what it is, man. Analyze the move. Tell me what you think of the move. I mean, the moves are the moves, you know? We don't need this holier-than-thou explanation about every move, about why the Eagles are actually super geniuses. It's like the stupidest thing in the world. They lost a bunch of players. The team got worse. Yes or no? Yes, they did. All right? I mean, I don't know. I'm reading all these guys. Even John, I told John this morning, he got mad at me. I'm like, are any other reporters going to push back on this team and ask why they're just blowing it up every year on defense? He didn't like my question. So, you know, I went off it after that. But I don't get it. I read a bunch of reporters today, and I'm just like, man, all of the articles are basically explaining why the Eagles are so smart and why, oh, well, this is why they're doing it this way. And I'm like, all right, well, the team got a lot worse.
You can't explain yourself out of this.
I guess they can when you just, you know, when Jalen Phillips gets
if you keep telling the lie enough, everyone will buy it.
Well, that's what I mean. But it also makes it easier when Jalen Phillips gets $30 million. Jalen Phillips gets $30 million. Yeah. So everybody latches on to, well, you know, you're not going to pay that. And like I said yesterday, I agree. You don't want to pay that to Jalen Phillips, but that doesn't mean that you have a better, you know, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a better solution for the team. You know, you don't want to pay that to Milton Williams either. You know, you lost a good player. You don't want to pay it to Josh Sweat either. Well, you lost a good player and you didn't replace him. So, you know, that's not really the right way to look at it to me, but I don't know where they are, man. We'll see. We'll see. I still don't feel like Howie's selling yet. He can't be.
How about Nakobe? The loss of Nakobe for you.
Tough one. Tough one, but the most obvious one. You know, they drafted a first-round linebackers on the bench. They got a big paid contract on Zach Bond, who's been an all-pro. You know, that was the most obvious one, but that's the one that hurt me the most because I thought he was the most important player, just in terms of, you know, certain players are more than just football. And I thought Nakobe brought everything to the team in terms of a leadership and, you know, personality and all those different things. But he's gone.
Tell me his time here. Tell me what you think his career was here.
I have good memories of it, but I do think it was marred by injuries. You know, it was marred by injuries early. But here's the caveat. I mean, when he was drafted, he had those injuries. You know, he came out. Remember, that's why he fell,
hurt.
Right, he fell to the third round. So I kind of put not an asterisk, but if you factor in that we knew that once he got healthy and the linebacker spot opened up after the departure of Kaiser White and TJ Edwards and those guys, I thought he really took the bull by the horns and won the spot. I mean, he got hurt late in the year in 24.
He got better.
So, you know, I think it was good. I thought Nakobe was great, and I'm super happy for him that he got paid.
Was it 12 a year, basically?
Yeah, I think it was a 3-year, $36 million, but he only got $20 million guaranteed, so I don't know what the actual numbers would be.
It's probably going to come out to around 13.5, somewhere like there, maybe in there. Let's read some of these supers we have here. Yeah. Farzetta's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll get his takeaways.
Here's a Pump. Fuck a Chubb. Z, bring in the Super Bowl 52 MVP. Well, not 52, Pump. He wasn't even on the team, I don't think, in 52. The edge rushers in 52 were BG and Chris Long and Timmy Jernigan and Fletcher Cox I think the front four. I forget who else was on that D line that year.
Is he talking about Von Miller?
No, he's talking about Josh Sweat. He meant 59.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I would love to have Josh back. He had 12 sacks last year.
Yeah.
I would love to have him back. I think they would take him back too. Playing Vic system, yeah. Drives a Lamborghini now.
He's been a car guy. Khaled says Nachos. Nashon Wright. I guess they're calling him Nachos Wright. Signed a 1-year deal for $5 million. He was a Pro Bowl young cornerback. I sure would have liked to have him opposite Q. Nachos Wright. How the hell do you come up with that name? Did Sileo freeze or is it me?
I think we're good. There you go.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're back. Nachos Wright. Here's
Nachos Right.
Sills, you taking Josh Sweat back? Apparently he asked for a trade after Gannon got the boot. Cardinals insiders report.
I would, man. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Let me see. Did he ask for a trade?
He probably since Gannon left.
I didn't see him ask for a trade. Here's Kyle Kokorski. Sills, do you really trust Roseman to draft a safety? Last time they hit on a safety, it was Dawkins. I'd rather sign one.
I think Makuba looked like he was somebody. Makuba looks like somebody, right? But I don't really think they've really had great success back there. I mean, Sidney Brown is not panned out. He's a special teams guy. Dude, how about the two guys that you had UDFAs and you let them walk? You let TJ Edwards walk, and now you're letting Reed Blankenship walk.
Dude, you're not doing this, dude. Now you're gonna act like Reed Blankenship. You were calling for the Eagles to bring back Reed Blank. What can you do without Reed Blank? You were calling that guy a dude like a week ago.
I think Reed's good, man. Reed and TJ Edwards, bro.
Dude, you were calling this guy a stiff like a week ago.
Who?
Reed.
Yeah. Still a starter. Everyone was telling me there in Philly that this guy's the quarterback of the defense.
Yes, they did. That was talked up, wasn't it?
You bet it was.
All right.
And I happen to agree. He's replaceable.
Here is we got these. We got these.
Man.
Got these.
Big Z.
Right. I do agree with Morty. Thieneman is a good safety, the kid from Oregon.
He looks
they
really
use a first-round pick on a safety? I don't think so.
That's right. Ed Reed Blankenship. That's what I was told. Ed Reed Blankenship. By the way, I guarantee you the biggest loss for Vic Fangio is Reed Blankenship. Yeah. Every time I heard Vic talking about like anybody, it was how Reed kept everything together back there.
They didn't even give him that much money. Like I'm surprised the Eagles weren't in that room, but boy, they're really in cost-cutting mode.
Okay, so I want to do one exercise with you here before Mark Farzetta joins us. Ready? So you gave $26 million to Jordan Davis. You're going to give how much to Jalen Carter?
I'm going to guess 32.
32 to Carter. Okay. How much are you going to pay Q?
Q, well, considering what did that dude just get?
31 large.
Oh, no. I'm not. Nah, they're not paying Q 31, are they?
The Trent McDuffie got 31 from the Rams.
All right, so give Q 32.
32? What are you paying Koopa DeJean?
24.
24?
Yeah, you're on the inside. In fact, you're lucky to get 24.
Look at that.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen, when contract talk comes in, it's no more daisies and bullshit,
Kyle Hamilton contract was what?
Kyle Hamilton doesn't do what Cooper does.
4-year, $100 million.
So 25. Cooper's getting 24. He's a slot guy.
He's making 25.1. So he's going to get at least 26, 27, right?
Who?
Cooper.
24.
24.
Look at Senor now. He's calling me a penny pinching grandma. That's hilarious.
Hold on here. Now, let me get this right here. 6, 12, 14. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you've got $125 million on defense.
Yeah, it's coming.
And 4 players.
The offensive purge is coming, Sills.
Okay, so wait.
What's the cap going to be in 2 years, though? 350?
Okay, let's see. It's 301. Yeah, 350 sounds right. 8% goes up 22 million. Yeah. So you're talking 350?
Somewhere in that range.
4 players, in your opinion, in the next 2 years, this year and next year, on defense are going to make $125 million.
Let's remember this comment from the greatness of Senorita, who's never once had a good comment a day in his life, and boy, has he had a lot of them. Zander thinks Cooper is worth $24 million. Let's remember this. All right, take a screenshot while you're at it, Senor, and let's see what Cooper DeSheen's contract is next year. All right, I guarantee you it passes $24 million.
Oh yes, oh yeah. With the dude, I'm looking at stiffs getting paid now, and when you got a premium guy like this, that guy's going to make north of $26 million. What do you think? What do you think Farzi's going to think of my Massacre Monday?
I think he's going to like it. I think it's hard to disagree with at this point. I mean, look, they are letting a lot. Sills, just real quick. We started it. We'll end it where we started it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Read this on. Hey, Farzi's in the green room. I want you to hear this.
Here's the first team All-Eagle former player defense. Ready? Darius Slay and Isaiah Rodgers are your cornerbacks.
They got him.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship are your safeties. Nakobe Dean and Oren Burks are your linebackers. And on the front and on the defensive line, you have Jalen Phillips, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, and throw in Thomas Booker in there for trading him away for a bag of peanuts. I mean, that's a pretty damn good defense, and they're all guys who left the Eagles in the last year and change.
I'll tell you this. That's a better starting 11 right now than the Cowboys had going into this year.
Yeah, you might be right.
And these are all guys in the last 2 years the Eagles have let walk out the room. Massacre Monday.
All right, Phil, I'm out of here. Get me out of here, please.
Hey.
This was a grueling segment. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, normally I enjoy our segments. This was grueling. It really was.
Well, I enjoy the show in the morning, Birds 365. Keep checking them out. What happens at Dallas Goddard, too, is also going to be something to keep an eye on. Big Z, love you, man. Talk to you in the morning, man.
Later, brother. Love you, too. Thank you.
You got it, man. All right, guys. Make sure you check it out. Massacre Monday, I called it. I wonder what Farzi thinks of this thing here. Holy Scheißes. And this is a German word. Holy Scheißekoff. How you doing here? Where are we going? Whoa. Without further ado, I can't. Hey, there won't be any glazed donut from Mark Farzetta. I can promise you this. All the stuff that I'm hearing over on IP and 97.5, I mean, you could serve me glazed donuts and milk because of all what's going on over there. You got to understand, everybody. You can't pay everybody. Okay, I get that. But can you pay somebody? Without further ado, our friend, he is without a doubt one of my favorite guys. He is Mark Farzetta. He joins us right now here, and I can't wait to hear him, my friend. How you doing?
Was that German? Did I catch Sills speaking German? Did German happen on this show? Come on.
No, wait. Okay, I gotta say it. My aunt married out of our race. She married my fine uncle, my Uncle Chuck, who's totally from Austria, who I love very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so he's Austrian, and so I've learned a couple words. I learned a couple more cuss words last week because he was somewhere I can't say because I don't want anybody who watches this to say where he was when he was teaching me swear words.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I'm very versed. So I know some words like Scheista, Sphinxta. I know that Fensta is like window. Vasa is water. right?
I knew Fenster because I had a friend Fenstermacher in high school, and they were a window maker. I remember that. I do remember that.
Yes, and Voss's water, so I kind of pick up a little bit,
There you go.
So
A man of many cultures. A man of many cultures.
Yes. I don't really like German food, but I'm all good with because it's too much meat. I'm more like fish. I'm more of a fish guy in spaghetti.
I had an oxtail. I had an oxtail in Germany that was
you like it?
Fantastic. I don't know how to say that in German, but it was fantastic.
Fantastic.
That's I think they'd understand what I was saying. I think they
okay. Well, guess what? I don't understand what's going on with the Eagles, and I'll tell you what wasn't fantastic watching 3 starters. Last year it was 4 starters get blown out. Now it's 3 starters this year. Dude, your initial takeaway on what's going on here in free agency with the Eagles?
Yeah. What is going on is my takeaway. I mean, here's the thing. I would have loved Jalen Phillips. I would have loved Jalen Phillips to be able to re-sign with the Eagles. $80 million guaranteed wasn't gonna happen, unfortunately. No way. But I think the biggest telling thing in all of this is Reed Blankenship. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago, and you're talking about a little over $8 million a year. I think we were guesstimating, would you bring him back for $9 or $10 million, what he could get paid in the open market? And I said, my thing about Reed Blankenship is that I know Nick Sirianni loves him. I know the locker room loves him. And I know he's good. He's good. He's a good player. Yeah, he's not game break. He's a good player. He's a nice player to have. As I mentioned earlier, these guys in the locker room, the guys in the locker room absolutely love him. So I wanted to see how much that was worth. Nothing. It was worth nothing to this Eagles team. And the fact that they weren't willing to go for a guy like him who is a good player, a good clubhouse or locker room leader, and a guy who is admired by the coaches, the fact that they weren't willing to go a little over $8 million or even around $8 million, because I guarantee you, if they were willing to stay around $8 million for him, he'd be here. But the fact that they just didn't have any interest in whatsoever, they moved on at that price for him. That's very telling that the Eagles don't have 2 pennies to rub together for anybody that they think is going to come in and just be okay. Unfortunately, they want to take care of Jordan Davis, which they did. The report out there now is they want to work on a long-term deal with Jalen Carter. I'll cross my fingers if that comes to fruition. And I guess they just want to bet heavily that Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt take some sort of wild step forward that I don't see coming. And look, let's also acknowledge the other thing here is they want to pay Cooper DeJean. They want to pay Quenyon Mitchell. But I thought last year was the year they were supposed to save money. You don't do that in back-to-back years, generally speaking, but yet here we are.
I was told this past offseason why you couldn't keep Josh Sweat. By the way, you'd like that deal back at 19, wouldn't you? Guy had
you mean free?
Last year.
Yeah, free. He's free. He plays for free, essentially, right now, as compared to what Jalen Phillips got.
I mean, I'm like, okay, so like you said, we're told, okay, you can't sign everybody. So you let Milton go at 26, and you let the other guy go at 19. You didn't want to even pay Gardner Johnson the $8 million. You didn't want to even, like you said, stay in the room with Reed at 8, which was very doable. Yeah. Help me out here, Farzy. What's the game plan here and where they're going? So here, I wrote this down. You tell me. So here's in 58 days since their last game against the 49ers, what they've done. They hired that intern offensive coaching staff that I don't know who they are. So I went like this. Well, I'm going to give them an incomplete because I don't know who they are. I don't know who any of these guys and what they're capable of doing. So I don't know if they're going to suck or not. You lose Christian Parker and you lose Jeff Stoutland. I don't know about you. I'm like this, Farzy. I'm like, okay. And then you turn around and you lose 3 starters. You tell me, how do you think this offseason has gone for them so far in 58 days?
There are people that want to sit there and wait patiently. And I mean, good for you. But if you have to judge it today, there's no other judgment other than what the hell are you doing? That's the only judgment you could possibly have in all of this. I mean, let's start off where you started off, just with the coaching staff. I know, yeah, absolutely incomplete, because we don't know what September is going to look like, what this team's going to look like, what their offense is really going to look like. We know kind of what the goal is right now, but your offensive coordinator is another guy who's never called plays at the NFL level. He's also been a coach for kind of 2 seasons. So there, you don't know what to expect there. You don't know, even though things seem to be trending a little bit in the direction more so now than ever that A.J. Brown is going to be here in Philadelphia. You don't know who your tight end is. You don't know what caliber edge rushers you're even going to have. You're looking at your secondary right now saying Drew Makuba kind of, and you're also banking big time, similar to the way you are with this coaching staff, especially in the offensive side of things, banking big time on 9 draft picks right now, hoping you can somehow get 2 starters out of that. And not just 2 starters because they're starters because you drafted them, but because they've earned it and they're good enough to be starters in the NFL, not because you're pushing them along. So when you look at it right now, all right, you brought back Jordan Davis. I don't know anybody that absolutely hates that they brought back Jordan Davis. I will say I'm a little bit surprised that they made Jordan Davis like the highest paid nose tackle ever. I think the guy certainly earned another contract. That seems like it's a little bit on the extreme side of things, especially when you talk about a guy like Howie Roseman, who just loves setting the market. I didn't think Jordan Davis would be the guy that would be a market setter, but here we are. Other than that, you're still just, you got, other than that, what, you got a couple offensive linemen in Colombia, South America. I understand looking forward to draft picks in terms of the potential that's there. Hell, I mean, in all honesty, if you are looking for something optimistic to say, one of the reasons you are in this spot is because Howie has drafted well. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, also Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. I hate using that phrase of, hey, you can't pay everybody. But to your point, how about paying somebody that you know can come in and play at a decent level at least? I'm not saying you re-sign Reed Blankenship and then you don't keep somebody waiting in the wings that might be able to take over that spot from him. I mean, $8 million, $8.5 million is not stop everything type of money. So at least you would know going into the season you have that guy that could play. Right now, who's their tight end? There's none. No. Who's their safety opposite Drew Makuba? There's none. Am I supposed to do cartwheels that Michael Carter II's deal got reworked? Because that's not something anybody's partying on Broad Street for. So look, there's, as of right now, and this is what I love about the offseason, because the obvious, let's just say it. It ain't mini camp yet. It ain't rookie, not even the draft yet. But right now, seeing these guys fly off the board, when you want to look at wide receivers, for instance, you want to look at quarterbacks, you want to look at tight ends, you want to look at a running back, none of them coming to the Birds. Not great. Not great.
Absolutely here. And to go back to that Jordan Davis deal that you talked about. So you gave him 26 annually. He played 80 snaps, 87 snaps to be exact on third down. Most teams are in nickel, which means 70% of the time you're in third down defense. And he's off the field, Farzy. So for you, for me, are you really telling me then in the next, coming up season that you're going to take that guy off the field on third down and he's a $26 million a year guy? And you're going to put a $26 million a year guy on the bench? Is that how they're doing that?
I guess they're just betting on him not getting off the Peloton for the next 4 months. I don't know. But right now, that's certainly the way it's trending, Sills, where they're looking at the situation with Jordan Davis and saying, he's worth it. Meanwhile,
he's a 3-down guy.
Here's what I learned about this year. And I can't contradict, and I do believe, I can't contradict what I said last year. And we went back and forth. We talked about this last year. This is a prove-it year. You weren't banging the drum. I wasn't banging the drum saying give Jordan Davis the multi-year deal now, meaning last year. I'm saying, no, you got to prove it, man. Yeah, you're a first-round pick. Good for you. Yeah, you've showed some potential, but you got to go out there and you got to prove it. This year, I thought he proved it, that if he puts in the work, he keeps the weight down,
he got better.
You have a coach. He absolutely got better. So if I'm looking at a guy like that did what I, metaphorically asked him to do, or at least wanted him to do, like the rest of the Eagles fan base, and he went out there and did it, I'm going to say, yeah, hell yeah, he can get better. If he can get better than what we saw last year, then the Eagles, they did the thing that they usually do, which is try to reset the market and be able to give a guy, dangle a carrot in front of him early. He takes that long-term deal. And then you know what? You hope actually, that in 2 years he's like, you know what? I'm kind of underpaid. And then they find a way to work it out similar to the way they did that with Fletcher Cox so many times over. But yeah, I do see Jordan Davis getting better and seeing more snaps, especially on third down.
Okay, so on May 1st, that's the due date on the Nolan Smith fifth-year option. You're going to have to pay that guy somewhere near $14.2 million. Now, with Jalen Phillips leaving, I mean, right now, that guy looks like a third wheel. I mean, the reason you're in the position you're in is because Nolan Smith has not panned out. Or you wouldn't have went out and got Jalen Phillips. You wouldn't have went out and spent a third-round draft choice, and you're probably not going to go into this upcoming draft, Farzy, and draft an edge. I mean, it's because this guy hasn't panned out. So are you giving that guy $14.2 million on what you've seen so far, Nolan Smith?
No, I'm not. I mean, this is also a reason you had to go out and get Jalen Phillips last year. This is also a reason you had to, hey, Brandon. Bryce. Oh, God. This is also a reason, hey, Brandon, can you unretire and come back? Yeah. Okay, cool. Look, I really like Nolan Smith. His rookie year in a preseason game, he's talking about how his shoulder works and how his shoulder doesn't work. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. And I'm like, dude, you're a rookie. You're not a 10-year veteran. I don't want to be hearing about how your shoulder has an on and off switch and it decides when to flip on and when to flip off. That to me is very worrisome. Does he have the high motor? Does he have the speed? Has he gotten better with angles? Yeah, but I don't trust him in the least bit to stay healthy for any prolonged period of time where I think he can earn a $13 to $14 million contract or, an average annual salary of $16 million if you're in a re-up after this year. So no, I ain't even betting on him. I ain't picking it up. The Eagles, unfortunately, right now are in a situation where they might still need Brandon Graham to come back and play the edge rusher position. It's not like you have Nakobe Dean back here and you can have Jahad Campbell go to that edge rusher spot. Nolan Smith, to me, I'm out. I got higher hopes for Jalix Hunt than I do in anything that I expect from Nolan Smith. And I hope I'm wrong on Nolan Smith. I sat here 2 years ago with you, and we were talking about Nolan Smith as to whether or not he would be in long-term plans for the Philadelphia Eagles even 2 years ago. And I said, hell no. If he surprises me, fine. And you know what? Going into that or through that season, the Super Bowl season, he absolutely surprised me, and he looked like a much better player. But again, more injury problems in the Super Bowl with his triceps, and then more injury issues this year as well. So no, I don't trust Nolan Smith even to extend beyond this year.
Here's the where the Eagles are. As of March 26th, the Philadelphia Eagles are evaluating a fifth-year option for edge rusher Nolan Smith for the 2027 season, which is projected to cost between $14 and $15 million. So as of right now, he is eligible, and the Eagles have to evaluate that right now. And May 1st is the deadline, by the way, for that. So, he's entering his fourth year, and that would be for the fifth year. So let's do this with Jalen Carter now. Do you think they kicked the can down the road? Or
Yes.
do you believe that they sign him to a extension before the draft, after the draft, maybe after June 1, maybe during training camp? Do you think this happens, or do they kick the can down the road for next year?
I think they handle it exactly like they handled Jordan Davis. And I think that's the way they have to handle it. And look, I think Jalen Carter has certainly shown more promise than Jordan Davis to this point of their career. But Jalen Carter, you can't go out there and be spitting in the direction of a quarterback. You can't go spitting on a quarterback. You can't have that hamster on the wheel in your head get going to where you're going to start doing bad things. That can't happen. And it's to the point where referees obviously look for it now. This is going to be his prove it year. It benefited the Eagles greatly to do it with Jordan Davis. I think they handled it the same exact way with Jalen Carter. They rewarded themselves with it essentially, and I think Jalen Carter would be motivated by that. The other part of it is this is his last year, for all intents and purposes. This is his last year under Vic Fangio. Flourish in this scheme one more time and really earn it throughout an entire season. Also, show me the shoulders healthy. Show me you can go out there and just throw bodies around consistently without that shoulder nagging at you. The other thing that was scary about it was, if you remember, he missed that first Giants game And he said, oh, this was like a huge 10-day bye week for me, essentially. He came back, played well, and then all of a sudden was banged up again. So it was something throughout the season with Jalen Carter, whether it was between the ears, whether it was on the shoulder, whatever it might have been with him throughout last year. I know the talent's there. Now it's a question of whether or not he can earn the commitment through consistent play through the 2025 season or 2026 season, excuse me.
Are you buying that his name has been floated around in trades? I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. I heard look, I didn't really believe the Michael Parsons BS, but then, when I heard it again for the Max Crosby stuff, and then Farzy, I heard it now, like, maybe it's negotiating. Maybe they're negotiating with Drew Rosenhaus. And this is, hey, listen, how much money is the guy going to get? Let's find out, how many people really like the guy, the character issues. Maybe they did float him. Maybe they have taken calls. I'm not saying how he's picking the phone up going, hey, you want Jalen Carter and the deal? I'm not saying that, but
yeah,
I've heard too much.
Yeah, I'll put it to you like this. Whenever I hear trade conversation, I'm going to tell you right now, it's really got to be something weird for me not to believe it. Okay, because for me, it comes down to so hold on.
You mean like Hurts for Tua down with the Atlanta Falcons? Like that's too much, right? Okay,
I don't know. I actually before I went on with you, I had just heard that's what they're shot. No, for me, it comes down to this: you got an agent talking, right? Agents talking. They're always looking for the bigger, better deal for their player. So they're doing some talking. You got Howie Roseman talking. You got guys in the facility talking. You got the player themselves talking. You got other guys in the locker room talking. Everybody's talking this time of year because that's all that happens this time of year is a whole lot of talk. And usually at the end of that talk, either a deal gets done or a deal doesn't get done. Now, you don't know who's talking. Here's what I'll say. I don't believe that Howie Roseman is picking up that phone and just calling around the NFL saying, hey, if we were to sign Jalen Carter, would you take Jalen Carter? Or I don't necessarily believe that Drew Rosenhaus is going out there beating down people's doors saying, hey, we kind of got a permission to seek a trade here. What are you thinking? Would you want Jalen Carter? I think it's a whole lot of talk, and all you need is one reporter picking it up saying, well, they kicked the tires in this scenario. And then the great conflagration starts where everyone starts talking even more so. So I don't believe that the Eagles are actively shopping Jalen Carter, but I do believe phone calls have been made, especially this time of year, about potentially acquiring Jalen Carter. And phone calls to Howie Roseman versus Howie Roseman making phone calls are two totally different things. So, no, I'll put it. I don't believe that Howie Roseman is shopping Jalen Carter around the NFL looking to move him.
Couple last ones here for you, and I left the golden goose for the last one here.
Boy, oh boy.
A.J. Brown. Ooh, yes.
Look how excited you are. For anyone just listening on a podcast right now, Sills is super excited. There you go.
Oh, man, he is content gold.
Yeah.
God, my life would be so less if he left Philadelphia. God, I love this guy. So Albert Breer was talking to his agent. Albert Breer was talking, and he goes, yeah, A.J. Brown wants a quarterback finally. And, I mean, is this relationship, is this too much to repair now? I mean, do you really believe? I don't believe he's here in September. I don't care what Romeo Dobbs signed. Dobbs is not a needle mover in New England.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
He's a nice replacement for the version of Stephon Diggs that they had. Here's
what John McMullen said the other morning. He goes, and I'm gonna quote him. Howie Roseman right now is jumping through hoops to try to get a deal done. John was part of that whole group this 2 Fridays ago where they were talking to those exclusive dudes, the
week ago press conference. Yeah.
The week ago press conference that we weren't all supposed to know about.
When did that break? A week ago. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But he said that Howie's been trying to jump through hoops to move the guy. Okay. Barzy, you think he's on this team in September?
Here's my question. Is it a very small hoop? Because Mike Vrabel has, I don't even know what to call it, a hula hoop size hoop to try to get through. It's pretty ginormous. He admitted to tampering. We text, he's great. I love the guy and really love AJ and he's great. And AJ said he's a Patriots fan, for crying out loud. By the way, still weird that you would say that as an NFL player, that you're a fan of another team, but whatever. The hoop shouldn't be that difficult to get through. I mean, I don't know the athleticism of Howie Roseman, but I would assume he could at least step through a hoop in order to get AJ Brown. It's not like they don't have suitors. The question isn't whether or not they have suitors or people want AJ Brown. The question is whether or not the rest of the NFL is willing to pay whatever it is Howie Roseman is asking. And by the way, I want AJ Brown on this team next year. I still think AJ Brown is cool.
You're not better without him.
Correct. Absolutely. I would find it hard to believe that Howie's like, yeah, let me move on from AJ Brown so I can roll the dice on a receiver in the draft or try to pick up somebody in free agency when you already do not have a tight end on this football team. To me, all signs point to him coming back. The money that's attached to it as well. We haven't even mentioned that. I know you know about it, but everybody knows about it. But still, that's a sign to him coming back to Philadelphia.
Now,
they don't want that dead money.
Post June 1 now.
Post June 1, it goes down.
Post June 1, it's 14. And remember, Parsons was traded post June 1 to the Packers.
Wasn't he traded post week 1 of the NFL season?
Yeah,
right around there.
That's right. Week 1 it was, right?
Jeez, it was right around there. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't look. If you're trying to build something special here with this offense that you want to start up, I don't think you take away from the talent you already have in order to do that. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. If AJ really wants out of Philadelphia, here's the other thing. Do you know AJ Brown to be a quiet person, or do you know AJ Brown to be more of a loud person? I know him kind of be loud. Yeah. If he really wanted out of Philadelphia and he really wanted a trade and he wanted to get out there, I don't give a damn how many times Jeffrey Lurie told him, hey, stay off social media or whatever. It would get out pretty bluntly without anything cryptic that he would that he wants out of Philadelphia. The story of his agent that you and I talked about being at the combine, talking to different teams about, hey, what do you have in store for AJ if a trade was to come out, it would be out so fast we wouldn't even know what hit us. What if it was ever a full-blown request to be traded? We wouldn't even know what hit us. It would be out so quick after that story came out. But still nothing. You talk about smoke, there's smoke, but you still don't see a fire yet. I'm still looking for the fire. So when it comes to AJ Brown, I still think he's back next year. I think the Eagles, they don't want to go into the season worse talent-wise than they already are going into, most likely without Dallas Goedert and whoever else is going to be your tight end. There's not a pool of talent to take away from right now when it comes to the Eagles. And I think Devontae Smith will be a great number one guy on a good roster of wide receivers, but I don't want to have to find that out. I'd rather have 2 stud wide receivers there for Jalen Hurts and have them to spread the football around with Saquon Barkley coming out of the backfield as opposed to starting over with another wide receiver.
I'm going to show you this here, and I'm going to do it quick. This is Alonzo Highsmith. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know that name, yeah.
He works for Elliott Wolf. He's a senior executive for the New England Patriots pro personnel. I asked him if the Patriots are interested in making a deal for and he was a former teammate of mine with the Hurricanes. He goes, I think they want a 1 and a 3. I think they want a 1 and a 3. He goes, nobody's giving a 1 and a 3 for a disgruntled dude. Now, that was 2 weeks ago. Okay. You kind of send a message out to Howie a little bit, and I don't think Howie's going to budge off that Romeo Dobbs. That's not shaking a needle. And everyone knows that Dobbs is not – dude, that's not a needle mover for the Patriots offense. Stephon
you got a nice player.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs is better than that guy, right? Stephon Diggs is better than that guy, Dobbs.
Yeah, I'd say he'd move the needle a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the Boston Strangler before I'm going to go with Romeo Dobbs. Okay, so I'm going that route there. But hey, I mean, do you think Howie is going to hold steadfast to this and want a 1 and a 3?
Yeah, because
do you think AJ could get that?
Yeah, I think you can to the right desperate team. I will say this about the Patriots, though. Mike Vrabel needs a win, man. Like, you're going into an offseason where your offense got obliterated in the Super Bowl.
Obliterated.
You know you got a quarterback. You just lost Stephon Diggs in an unfortunate way, of course. You need a win, a big win for him in this offseason to get we know how to get over the hump in the Super Bowl next year. A.J. Brown is how you get over that hump, right? That would be a really big win for Mike Vrabel in the offseason to have this kind of pick-me-up move. I do think the Eagles could get a 1 and a 3 for A.J. Brown. The reason is, or maybe even a 1 and a 2 for A.J. Brown to the right desperate team. And it really comes down in a big way to, like, similar to the Sam Bradford deal. If something happens before the season, they can get a 1. If something happens before the season, they can get a 1. But A.J. does not hold a lot of the cards here, unfortunately, for him. And here's where he kind of, to use a phrase my man Trey Thomas used to use, he showed his ass. Okay. if you mean to tell me you don't even care about winning the Super Bowl is cool, but the hunt is cooler. If you mean to tell me, which is basically what A.J. Brown said, if you mean to tell me that your legacy is what matters above all else, you ain't building a legacy sitting on the bench.
No way.
And if you don't want to play for the Eagles, if you don't want to play with Jalen Hurts, if you don't want to share a spotlight with Saquon Barkley, and you don't want to give Sean Mannion a chance like the Eagles have decided to give Sean Mannion a chance, a guy with even less play calling experience, less coaching experience than the previous guy who got knocked for having no experience. But look, I could understand why you'd have your doubts, A.J. Brown, but I'd also understand why it is that you have to go out there and bust your ass to make sure this all looks good. Because if you don't look good, this isn't going to look good. So the Eagles still kind of got him by the balls here. So you go ahead and sit out. Be disgruntled. The only way you can get traded is if you look like a guy who still wants to play and a guy who's putting up numbers.
Last one for you. Do you believe that Jalen Hurts can lead a football team to a Super Bowl without A.J. Brown on it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at the year that they actually went to the Super Bowl, didn't win it,
22.
But they went 22. Look, they had great wide receivers. I find it interesting, though, that you got 1,000-yard wide receivers again and again with Smitty and A.J. Brown, and 1,000-yard rushers from Miles Sanders to DeAndre Swift to Saquon Barkley. In an offense that the Eagles could go into, you're talking about an offense now that is going to spread the ball. The goal is to spread the ball around more, expand Jalen Hurts' comfort zone, and he has constantly shown still the willingness to be fluid when it comes to the coordinators that he's working with. Look, my problem is the consistency of Jalen Hurts needs to improve. It's a weird thing that I think he can make all the throws. It's a matter of doing it consistently and having the offense depend on him, with the fail-safe being Saquon Barkley. So, yes, I think Jalen Hurts can lead this team back to a Super Bowl. Now, the operative word would be lead, because you're also looking at a running back getting back to the same form that he was at 2 years ago, and the offensive line doing that as well.
Why haven't they extended him?
I think they really want to see how this offense works. I think that's really what it comes down to. If this offense looks good, look, Doug Peterson got asked time and time again by Jeffrey Lurie, and you know this more than anybody, hey, how come he didn't pass the ball more in that game? You mean the game we won? Yeah, but how come he didn't pass? Jeffrey Lurie wants this to look a certain way. He wants a Super Bowl winning team that wins the way he wants to win. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to people. If Sean Mannion's system looks like something that Jeffrey Lurie can win with for the foreseeable future, but the quarterback isn't the guy to pull it off, they'll move on from Jalen Hurts. As of right now, without extending him, that's the way it looks.
Man. So the quarterback who's been here with all this winning is in a prove-it year.
Yeah, I'll tell you this right now, for the record, I'm extending Jalen Hurts. If Howie Roseman calls me and says, hey, do I extend Jalen? I say, hell yeah. Because here's the thing. How many quarterbacks, like really good quarterbacks, have we seen in Philadelphia? Whether it was Donovan McNabb, whether it was Michael Vick, you had a great run there, even the 27-2 season with Nick Foles before he even won the Super Bowl. These guys in their careers they played the game so well and at a high level, but man, you didn't trust him in some games. Donovan being the best example of this. Some games to get you over the hump to win the game, to have what it took to win the football game. Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls already. All right. Winning is the most important thing in the NFL. Sorry, Jeffrey Lurie, not how it looks, but actually winning the game. When push comes to shove, you're the guy that can make the play. Jalen Hurts has got that moxie. He's got that gene. I'm riding with Jalen Hurts. So if you need to extend him to open up doors, to sign other players and kick money down for Jalen Hurts, again, to open up that cap space now, I will not be the one bitching and moaning about that move if it makes other players available to the Philadelphia Eagles.
65. Dak 60. You're going to make him the highest paid player in the league? He's easily one of the most accomplished players in the league.
Yep. I think you'd have to do that. It'd be like
you can't pay him less than Dak.
It wouldn't be real money.
You can't pay him less than Dak, right? I mean, because he's more accomplished than Dak.
Yeah, unless Jalen just takes less than Dak to kick it down later in his career and spread that money out. I mean, I remember I go back to the Patrick Mahomes deal. What was it, $420 million? And it was like 4 minutes after that deal got signed and they were popping champagne bottles. He restructured it and restructured it and restructured it. So I'm not going to be the one complaining, though. If it is Dak money, then hell yeah. But I think, again, this Eagles team is putting a lot. First off, let's all go back to this as well. To answer your question, yes, I'm paying him that money. But if you look at the coaching staff of this team, to me, this is where Nick Sirianni really, really gets you, unfortunately, because as long as he's not the guy that provides the scheme and the play calling, you're always going to have this rotation of what other coordinators could be into. So to me, that just wears itself thin way too quick, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like your idea there, Farzy. Do this, because if you remember right with the Mahomes deal, it wasn't so much that was the base. They gave him a 10-year, $425 million contract. And what they did was they started restructuring. You know, he's like the 13th or 14th highest paid player, but the guaranteed money that's owed to him, nobody's owed more money than Patrick Mahomes. The Kansas City Chiefs own they owe him like $500 million in what they're going to have to pay him. And so, like, yeah, you're telling me if I take less money per year, but you guarantee me $500 million, I'm taking the $500 million. I'm not taking the Powerball big number. Okay, you pay me out. Oh, you pay me out a long period of time, and I've guaranteed that money. Yeah. I want that money in the end, man. I'm not taking the one hit, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I think now I feel like we're in the Bobby Bonilla realm of money. So
yes,
just keep paying me, man. You owe me that dough. Better pay me.
With every June 1st until what is it? 2039?
2030. I was going to say 2036. Yeah.
36,
I feel. Yeah. I think. I don't know. Every year I feel like if someone tells me it's, that's only a couple of more years before that ends. And then I look it up and he's got like 10 more years. But yeah, it feels like it just keeps on going.
Every year, $1 million. Farzy, thank you so much. I appreciate you, bro.
My pleasure, man. Right back at you. See you soon.
You got it. That is Mark Farzetta. We appreciate him very much. Yeah, that Bonilla deal, he gets paid $1 million every year, like, because he deferred his money with the Mets. And it's one of the greatest deals of all time. He gets paid, and he deferred that money out. And I think he started getting paid like a couple of years back, like about 8 years ago. And he's been paid this money, and he deferred it. And all the way until like 2036, this guy's getting paid every June, like 1st. He gets paid like $1 million. Yeah. And what? Yeah, okay. That's why they fired all their coaches. Every single quarterback Kellen Moore has ever coached had better passing stats than Jalen Hurts and lesser rosters, including dudes like Spencer Rattler. There you go, Rasputin. That's what I'm talking about right there, man. Said it along. Nick stink on his side of the ball, just the facts. Nick only looks good when he has a good OC. It's true. Sills, what's your favorite fast food item? I'm not really a fast food dude, man. I don't eat fast food. We don't eat fast food. Not a fast food guy. But if I had to, I'd probably say my favorites are like Big Macs, and fish sandwiches from McDonald's. I do like Arby's too, but I don't really eat that stuff that much. They have better numbers, but Jalen won the Super Bowl. Yeah, just like Kenny Walker, Super Bowl MVP. He's now on a different team. How you doing? Yeah, that MVP mattered, didn't it? Hey, we got him $13 million. A.J. Brown burning more bridges than Joe Bonanno. How you doing? Sills, I know you would tear apart. I love chicken parmesan. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a true statement there. Bring back dynamic Hurts. Back. Dude, you got to run the ball. Didn't pin Sileo as a fish fillet type. Yeah, I'm not a guy that likes like fast. We don't eat fast food, man. So is your QB. I'm kidding. You're not. No, I love Arby's, man. So you'd rather have a guy like that don't win than a guy that's won a Super Bowl? As a matter of fact, I've told you this before, Angelo. Just because you won the Super Bowl doesn't mean you're a great player. You're missing it. Great players play every week. Great. You win a Super Bowl, that is the cherry on top of your career. I mean, I'm sorry. Kenny Walker just got dealt. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks didn't even offer him a contract. He just won the MVP. Is Sam Darnold great? No. Sam Darnold's a good player. Just won a Super Bowl. He's not great. Sam Darnold's not elite. Why? Because he won the Super Bowl? He's not an elite player. He's a really good player. Says he played great in the Super Bowl. Not once, but twice. I don't think he played that. I thought he was okay in the second one. I thought he was great in the one he lost. I'm not saying he's a great player. I'm just saying he won. Yeah, no, I think it's great. Now, listen, I think Jalen Hurts does a really nice job at seeing the game. And I think he's a smarter player than Lamar. I've said this, and I'm consistent on it. I think he's a smarter player than Lamar Jackson. I do. Why? They've got just as many Super Bowl wins. Sills, and by the way, in the last 2 years, Sam Darnold's outplayed Hurts. He's got 8,400 yards passing. He's got 64 touchdowns. He's 31-9. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, he's also won 2 division titles. No, they didn't win the division. Detroit did. But what is he now? Let's see, 14-3 this year. And he went 3-0 because they were the top seed. So he was 17-3 this year. 17-3 and 14-3. So he's 31-6 in 2 years. And the year before, he threw for 4,535 touchdowns. This year, he threw for 4,200. So he's got 9,000 yards and 64 touchdowns in 2 years. Completely outplayed him. Is it true that Phillips hasn't made a Pro Bowl and he got $30 million? Yes. Seals, Dean's injuries kept him off the field for his first 2 years. Do you think those injuries made him more cerebral and reactive? Does Vic like cerebral players more? Campbell in his second year will be smarter. I like Jahad Campbell. I think Jahad Campbell is a very good football player. Sills, if Hurts stunk it up in the first Super Bowl, I'd be on your side. Is a caboose, but he bailed out. He balled out to the point. is Hurts on Mahomes' level. He's not a Mahomes. Wait a minute, RC3. You think that Jalen Hurts is the same quarterback talent-wise as Patrick Mahomes? Do you believe that? RC3, do you believe that Jalen Hurts is on the same talent level as Patrick Mahomes? Yes or no? Well, let me ask you this. You think Dan Marino, it's close? So wait a minute. Do you believe that Troy Aikman is a better quarterback than Dan Marino? My God almighty. This is so ignorant. That's really crazy. This is right. Mahomes is one of one. After all those losses, does Vic regret not retiring? No, probably likes the challenge. Just because Troy Aikman won 3 Super Bowls, a guy like RC3 thinks that Troy Aikman's a better player than Dan Marino. In what world is that? Seals Hurts is a better football player than Darnold and a similar talent to Mahomes. So you think Jalen Hurts is going to throw for 50 touchdowns one year? This is what you're saying. A guy who threw for 2,900 yards and 18 TDs and has the 25th ranked passing attack in football. Last year was the 28th ranked passing attack. And some of you in here believe that Jalen Hurts is on the same path as this. 5,197 and 50 touchdowns. 4,227 touchdowns. 4,800 passing yards and 38. 4,937. 52-51 and 41 touchdowns. 4,227. 39-28 and 16 and 26 touchdowns. And in his 9th year, even missing 3 games, he still had a better season than Jalen Hurts at 35, 87, and 22 TDs with 502 attempts. Where in God's name do you see that? Holy cow. Bro, it's not in the room. Not in the same conversation. And get this. Patrick Mahomes is throwing to Juju Smith-Schuster. This guy was throwing to Juju Smith-Schuster. There's no 2,000-yard receivers in Kansas City. I can't remember the last time Kansas City had a 1,000-yard receiver. Had to beat Tyreek Hill. Here. Let me see this here. When's the last time they had a 1,000-yard receiver? When's the last time that team had a 1,000-yard receiver? Let's see here. Receiver. And I'm not talking tight end. Hill in 21. They've had one 1,000-yard receiver. And it was Tyreek Hill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. In 17 years, they've had 1,000-yard receiver. Let's see if did Rice have 1,000 last year? I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City doesn't have wideouts. Let's see, Kansas City. Rice may have. No. Rashid Rice had 571 yards. And Hollywood Brown had 500 yards. Bro, they don't have receivers. This Jalen Hurts has had Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. There's nobody like that in fucking Kansas City. And that guy throws for 5,200 yards. Fuck are you talking about? Same room as Patrick Mahomes. I mean, come on now. Do you now consider dual threat rushing a part of the quarterback position in today's game? I'm not building my team around that. Okay? I'm not building my team around that. I do think, however, David, I do think that you have to have an element of the quarterback being able to run. Like when you see what Allen and Herbert and guys like that and Trevor Lawrence and those dudes, I think you have to have an element of that. Well, to Mahomes' credit, he did have great defenses going into the Super Bowls. Not the first ones, but they got better, obviously, as he got older. So I agree. Sills, Darnold is a turnover machine. We don't have those Super Bowl appearances or as many wins we've had with Hurts. Hurts, at the very least, gives you a chance to win every game and not turning it over. The guy's 31-8 in the last 2 years. He's won an NFC He's won an NFC championship and a Super Bowl. By the way, he was 0-1, and now he's 3. He's 3-1. No, he's 4. He's 3-1 in playoffs. He's 3-1 in his playoff career. He's got an NFC championship and a Super Bowl, and he's 31-8 in 2 years. I don't know how that's bad. See here. Any quarterback that can survive the Jets in Carolina, then turn around to get a Super Bowl, you bet, man. It's absolutely one of the greatest turnarounds in the history of football. Look at his overall record. Where? With the Jets? Carolina? He was on bad teams. You keep forgetting that. A quarterback is a victim of being on bad teams. When he went to 2 good teams, Minnesota and Seattle, look at his record then. What do you think, Jalen Hurts is walking into the Jets and changing the fortunes of the Jets around? Nobody's changed the fortunes of the Jets since Joe Namath. I mean, the only guy that I can think of that won a division title in New York was Mark Sanchez, and I think what was the quarterback's name from Marshall? What was that kid's name? The year Brady got hurt in New England, the Dolphins won the division. What was that guy's name? He was from Marshall. And the Jets won the division that year. Purdy had a great team. What happened to him? Got beat by a greater team. Yeah, Chad Pennington. Thank you. That's so easy, man. What happened to him? They got beat by Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City has 3 Super Bowls and 5 appearances in the last 7 years. Guys, Sam Darnold is simply Sill's flavor of the week. He won the Super Bowl. Anyone with a brain knows Hurts is a better football player than Sam Darnold. He's not a better talent. He doesn't throw the ball better. Never in his career has Jalen Hurts thrown the ball better than Sam Darnold. He's not a better talent. He's on a better team. Like, dude, when your offenses are 28th every year and 25th every year, and your passing offense is down at the bottom of the league every fucking year, how is that? How is he like better? Dude, like I said, You don't have to be a great player to get to the Super Bowl as a quarterback. You guys don't think shit of Brock Purdy. You guys don't think shit of Sam Darnold. They won one went to a Super Bowl and the other one got to a Super Bowl. You guys don't think shit of that. Thanks, Steve. Sills, what do you think about Tylen Green, quarterback out of Arkansas? I actually like him. I actually think he's a pretty good player. I saw Notre Dame kick their ass. Sam Darnold's a really good quarterback. You'll see again this year. Oh, yeah, Sam Darnold's going to have another great year this year. And bet your ass on that. Will Hurts? I don't know. You have to trade A.J. Brown if he acts up when he wants to be here. What's he going to be like when he doesn't want to be here? That's a great take, and that's my position, Rolly. This guy acts like an asshole. And, right now, what happens when that element of him not wanting to be here kicks in like that? You're dead on. And I don't hate Zander's take, but just to sit there and go fucking shut up and sit down, this ain't high school or college. You're not going to do that. And then what you do is you destroy the chemistry of the team. There's only 53 of you. You can't well, fuck that guy. You can't fuck that guy. You're paying him $32 million. You're paying him $32 million bucks. You can't just go like this. Fuck the guy. That's not what that is, man. Seals, if Hurts was on the Jets and the Panthers for 6 years, he would have went 32-70. Hey, dude, NJ, if Tom Brady may have been on those teams, he would have been 32-70. Hurts would struggle the same on the Seahawks. He can't throw, Sills. Eagle fans in denial and delusional about Hurts. He does win, man. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how the painting looks, it sells. Jalen's one of those kind of artists. Painting, you may not like the painting and how the painting looks. It still commands top dollar. It's not everybody's taste in paintings. You look at it and you're like, dude, that's not a good painting. End of the day, when the paycheck comes in and they're selling them paintings for $4 million, you shake your head and go, shit. AJ already fucked with the chemistry of the team, flapping his gums. Howie is going to start trading away offensive players and make Carter, Q, and Cooper the highest paid at their positions. Well, let me ask you something, senor. How is that a good remedy? Let's take a look at that. The quarterback in Kansas City is not the highest paid. He's the 14th highest paid guy. There's nobody in Kansas City that's the highest paid player. There's nobody in Seattle that's the highest paid player. During the Brady era, nobody was ever the highest paid player at their positions, like ever, including the tight end and quarterback. Why is that a big deal? That doesn't make sense. Making a guy the highest paid player, that doesn't win you games. Look at the quarterback position. You make all these quarterbacks the highest paid guys for their respective times when they sign their contracts. That's not a guarantee they're going to win. JSA will be the highest paid. Well, right now they got him on a rookie deal still. They got a couple more years. Seals, after the Cowboys offseason so far, can we agree Dak doesn't have any excuses? They've added good talent. They're going to add more because they got 2 first-rounders. I don't know how good they are yet. It looks good on paper. I just don't know how good they are. Hey, all their free agent signings, it looks good. Looks like they've done some things with players I like. Dude, my favorite move that they've made is the Quinnen Williams deal. And I disagree, and I am in the minority. They got better since that got rid of Parsons. They're a better team. How many people in here agree with me? Do you think the Cowboys are a better team without Parsons right now, today, and what they've done with the collateral they got from Green Bay and the moves that they've made and the restructuring? Are they better since last September? I think they're better. Shit, Quinnen Williams is 10 times the player that Jalen Carter is right now, bro. How many do you think the Cowboys are? So you don't think the Cowboys are better? Really? They were a dog shit show against the run when he was here. They were a dog shit show. You don't think the Cowboys are better now? So wait, you had 1 player on your defense. Now you've added 4. Okay. Stupid Eagle fans. Jalen Carter was not disruptive last year. Sills, how are they better with the holes on their defense? I just said it. It looks like it's really good on paper. I love the Quinnen Williams play. He's a really great player. I got to see him play in September before I sit there and go like this. Offensively, they had the best offense, and it wasn't close. Okay? They're better. Fans in here can't admit it because they hate him. Well, yeah, I mean, I get that. Yeah, got better players on defensive line. Yeah, Kenny Clark is a good player. The other offensive defensive tackle is good too. I think they need help at linebacker still. That's why they're going after Patrick Queen of the Steelers. That would help them dramatically. Dallas had a better run defense than the Eagles last year. That doesn't shock you. The Eagles were okay last year run defense. They were like 16th or 17th. Double check that. And by the way, the Cowboys were ranked what? 32nd in defense and total defense last year. They were just not very good. I believe the Cowboys were last. No, they were 30th. The Cowboys and Eagles were tied for run defense. Eagles were 22nd, giving up 124 yards a game, and the Cowboys were 23rd at 125. The Eagles were 22 at 124 yards. You gave a guy a contract extension and your run defense, what he's in there for, you gave him $26 million and your run defense was 22nd. I mean, I get Vita Vea being paid. The Buccaneers are 5th in run defense. I mean, and you gave a guy, Jordan Davis, 26 large, highest paid nose guard, and your run defense was 22nd. Okay. Okay. We need a proven DE or CB to cover our loss. Yeah. As of January, they're both 20th in rushing. Okay. I see. Okay. So once they added Quinnen Williams, that changed? Yeah, Quinnen Williams is a great football player. I don't get the Jets. You got rid of Sauce Gardner, you got rid of that guy. To get draft picks to try to draft those kind of guys. It makes no sense. The Jets have no idea what they're doing. You can't find Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. That's not possible. Like landing on Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, those are like once every 10-year kind of guys. It's stupid. Sills, that should tell you all about Jalen Hurts losing that to that defense the Cowboys had. Actually, they were down 21 and came back. Bland Diggs got paid because Parsons' pressure. So you improved the run stopping, but dramatically worsen your secondary. Well, I would rather have a better run defense. Because when you have a better run defense and you're better against the run, and that helps the entire unit. Why do you think you're paying Jordan Davis and not Jalen Phillips? You're contradicting your own team doing what they did. They punted on Jalen Phillips because of pass rush, and they went with the run stopper. Isn't that what the Eagles did? So everything you just said about the Eagles went with the run stopper and not the pass rusher and the edge setter. No, what? Well, wait a minute. You paid a guy who plays only first and second down. Why? Because Vic values the run defense better more than the pass rush? And a dominant edge rusher? Vic values the tackle play. You didn't have a good, you had a very hidden secondary in 22 because you had 70 sacks that year and high volume of pressure. The following year in 23, when that pressure volume went down, same corners were there, Bradbury and Slay. What happened? You went to 28th, especially when the run defense went away. When you lost that D-line with Hargrave and all them guys, Sills, I think Dak has to go at least to the NFC Championship game this year for the Cowboys to not think about quarterback at 27. The class is stacked. I'm with you, dude. I think that, 10 years he's been in the league. And you know where you are with him. Look, I think Dak is a really good quarterback. And I absolutely think he's a fantastic player in the pocket and everything. But 10 years in, dude, I mean, he can't get to an NFC Championship game. This guy can't get out of a divisional round. Football, he's had some good teams. Every year the Eagles are hemorrhaging players. How do we fix that? Well, especially the last 2 years. Here. I don't know how you fix that. Wait, these guys made it the big dance and won it. Who? Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams, that Cowboys defense is going to be tough to beat. I like that front. I do. Now they need linebackers. If they're able to get Quentin Williams in there, Texas boy, I got a feeling the Dallas Cowboys are going to be this year's version of the Bears. Remember I said that. I think they're going to be this year's version of the Chicago Bears. So what does Howie have to do to win the NFC East in 26? Well, he's got to hope those guys get healthy on offense. And he's got to find 2 edge rushers, 2 defensive ends. He needs a corner 2. And I think you need more depth in the defensive tackle position. I think you clearly need more depth in the O-line position. Your O-line is not very good and your O-line is not very deep. And if those guys, and here's the problem. You don't have Jeff Stoutland in there. I don't trust this Chris Cooper guy. I just don't trust them. You go from the best offensive line coach in pro football to a guy that is okay. Anyone who thinks the offense is going to be spectacular or even above top 15 or smoking, I agree. Okay? Mitchell Cooper got mossed by George Pickens. Now I'm good. The Cowboys don't need them. Even CeeDee Lamb picked them apart. Second game for sure. He covers us because he gets a rise from Eagle fans. That's not why I cover you. You think I wake up every morning trying to think what some of you guys get a rise out of it? Do you know how to get a rise out of Eagle fans? Tell them the truth. It's not hard. Tell them the truth. You don't like to hear the truth. So, again, getting a rise out of Eagle fans, tell them the truth. I mean, Texas boy clinging to the glory of the 90s Cowboy girls, of the Cowgirl teams. Shields, they're gonna pay Coop and Mitchell. I think it's gonna be in the 30s and the high 20s. You're gonna be looking at $57 million between them two dudes, too. Imagine Vic Fangio with the same salary the offense has. Shit. If Vic had the money on that side of the ball, you'd give up 12 points a game. Like if you did this, if you kept that 2024 defense and added Jahad Campbell and then added Jalen Phillips too in the last 2 years instead of jettisoning all these players, shit. It'd be one of the best defenses of all time. And you would go just as far. All you had to have was a running game. In 2024, you weren't complex. You ran the ball, played defense. You didn't throw it. Since when, Sills? Here's the truth. The Eagles have been to multiple Super Bowls in the past decade and won multiple NFC championships. That's the truth, okay? I'm not talking about your history and your glorious history. I'm talking about the last 2 years. Talking about last year and the beginning of this offseason. Congratulations. I'm glad you got a great historical poster in your bedroom that you can look up on your ceiling every night and go to bed. And you got your Eagle hat, your Super Bowl championship hat, and all of that. I'm very glad for you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about last year, heading into free agency right now, and what you've done in the last 58 days. That's all I'm talking about. You want to talk about your glorious history? Phenomenal. All good. This dude, literally a Cowboy fan who eats fans' shit for money to cover the birds. Bro, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So for the last 35 years, you think that's what I do in my broadcasting career? Is that? Bro, you have no idea who I am, what I've worked, and where I've worked. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. You're lucky I even acknowledge you. Sills, our player, and by the way, this is one of the only places that I do that people have access to me. I don't give this to anybody. Sills, our players are being plucked in free agency like Thanksgiving turkey ready to be cooked. Hey, Zander made a a Super Bowl winning defense out of the guys. Got you, Sue. Hit a nerve? Yeah. Hit a nerve. With Michael the artist. Hit a nerve. Yeah. Still's acting like some sort of god. No. I'm proud of the work that I've done in my career. Aren't you? Yo, Sills, what if I said Howie should get a bit of a pass? I thought you gave that pass last year to him, though. Our young players, Nolan, Ringo, should have developed better. That's why he didn't pay some contracts. Okay? I'll tell you what. Overall, SS, I don't think that's a bad take. I have no problem with Howie Roseman. So are you under the impression that because you've done something in the past, Sean, that you can't be critical of a guy making a mistake like on the Josh Sweat deal or the over-evaluation of Nolan Smith? That just because a guy has done some good things, you can't be critical of that guy? Is that what you're saying? That you get an automatic pass because if you point out that you lost 3 starters yesterday, that's over the line? You got the wrong fucking show, guy. You ain't how he's a Gator. Now, that is true. He's a Gator, and that, for sure, is maybe one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way about the guy. He is a Gator. The Kobe's gone. Gone forever. Still, does it look like Jalen wanted to involve Smith, Dotson, and Goddard more every game? AJ needed his numbers, seemed to hold back the Eagles' offense in every game. Yeah, because the guy moaned and bitched. He felt the passing game should go through him. I'm not looking at just 2 offseasons. I'm looking at his entire career. I'm not looking at his entire career. I don't give a fuck what he did in 2017 and 18. I don't give a shit what he did in 24. What are you doing today? You think the NFL gives a shit about what a guy did 5 years ago? Good coaches get fired all the time. You think anybody gave a shit what Bill Belichick did for 18 years of the 19 years he was in New England? Nobody gave a shit what he did. They fired his ass. Is this the crap you have to put up with from all these glazed donut Eagle fans who can't deal with reality? DC, yeah. It's not getting them riled up. It's just telling them the truth. They hate the truth. Thank you, my friend. Stills, why Eagle fans talking about the 90s? Most of them weren't even around. Well, I'll tell you what. One of the coolest things that I have right there, that Jerry Jones helmet, Stephen Jones. I'm glad those guys, my helmet got stolen, and those guys sent me that. If you notice, every one of those helmets, those are my schools and my teams that I played in. That one helmet right here is Vince Papali. He gave me that, and he signed it. Okay? Jalen's elite. Says, how much dust in them helmets? Oh, a ton. The Hurricane helmet, I got to pull down because on weekends, I got to do a green screen. It's crazy. Zander should see me doing that shit, setting that whole thing up. I think he'd laugh his ass off on weekends if he saw me setting that thing up. Listen to this. In front of me here, I've got these 2. I should take a picture and send it to Zander. I've got these 2 gigantic lights that I have to have, like, for Saturday's TV show. And they're, like, right here. Like, and they burn the skin off you. So hot. Serious. Where do you currently rank Hurts? Where do I currently rank Jalen Hurts? Based off of 2000, there's two ways of looking at it. Based off of 2026. Now listen, based off of his career during his time, 5th. I made you a promise. In his time, 5th. Last year, Stafford 1. Dak 2. May 3. Golf. Darnold. Herbert. Oh, wait. I got to do that again. Hold on. Stafford. Allen. Dak. May. Herbert. Mahomes. I don't think Mahomes had that great a year. Still good. Golf. Knicks. This is 26. Williams. Love. Lawrence. Hurts. 12th. Probably have him 12th. I don't think Baker had a better year than Jalen. Not last year. 36.93, 63 completion percentage. What was Hurts? 64. 25 TDs and 10 picks. 26 TDs and 11 picks, I mean. Jalen had 25 and 6. I think probably Hurts played better. Hurts played better. Lawrence played better. Lawrence had 4,000, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks, 575 attempts. What did Jalen have? 454. I mean, the guy doesn't throw high volume. I'm not going to expect that. Jared Goff had 45, 64, and 34 touchdowns and 8 picks. 70% completion percentage. Fucking guy had a great year. What was Sam Darnold? 4,100 yards, 25 TDs, 68 completion percentage. I'd say 12th, somewhere in there. Lawrence played great down the stretch. Yeah, this is 26. This is just for 26. Okay? Brock Purdy didn't play in enough games, but if you want to put him in there, you probably put Hurts would be 13th then if you put Purdy in, if you want to go. Because Purdy, when he came back, let's see what he ended up with. I don't think he had a ton of yards. Because I think he only played, he still get this in 9 games. Listen to this. In 9 football games, Brock Purdy threw for 2,200 yards and 20 touchdowns in only 8 games. So you put that out over 18, you put that over 17 games. Guy's throwing for 4,240 touchdowns. This guy came back, played 8 ball games, and threw for 2,200 yards and 20 touchdowns. Brock Purdy is a good football player, man. So it's my bold prediction. Eagles 7-10. I'm saying between 7 and 9. Okay. I'm going to hang in the 7 and 9, 7 to 9 wins until I see the rest of the offseason. I want to see the rest of the week, and then I want to see the draft, and I want to see what happens after June 1. Baked Manny gut with mussels, mata noodles, or pasta vazul with fried calamari. Baked manicotti with mussels. Pasta vazul with dried calamari. Man, you make that? Hey, dude, you get that off the boat? Okay. That Bucks helmet is cleaning. And I'm a Cowboys fan. Dude, that Bucks. You know what? I got to tell you, dude, Texas guy, when I played with that helmet, I didn't really like it. Now I love it. You should see my X account, what I did. Zander, you won't believe it. I actually was able to combine here we go. Per Adam Schefter, an A.J. Brown pursuit, the list starts and ends with New England. The team that has to be watched this offseason are the Patriots. They're the clear front runners. The clear front runners for A.J. Brown. I've been telling you that the whole time. The entire time. A.J. Brown to New England for a 1 and a 3. 2027, the 1 and a 3rd this year. You watch. By the way, you'll want that 1 and 27 because I think they may step back. Now, if they get AJ, they won't step back. They'll continue. Yes, sir. Okay? They did. I enjoyed playing in Canada. It's good. How you doing? Adam Schefter. The pursuit ends and stops in New England. All right, let me pay some bills here. Number 1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason is our friends at Morgan & Morgan. With over $30 billion recovered, Morgan & Morgan is the number 1 injury law firm in all of America. Family-owned, family-run. I tell you about the family in Pennsylvania that was offered $650K. They ended up getting nearly $30 million in recovery. Or the family down in Florida that was initially offered $350K. They got nearly $12 million. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan. America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the jet setters and the high rollers, to the shot takers and the tastemakers. Welcome to the viewfinders, the thrill seekers, and the night owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Do you think there's a gentleman's agreement in place right now between New England and Philly? Post June 1? Could there be a gentleman's agreement? I'll give you more on that story tomorrow. Okay? Appreciate each and every single one of you. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side.